All right, sweet. We got Heather, we got Dumpy, Mac, Ty, and Zath. I'm gonna link everybody's stuff in the description, obviously. But this will go on YouTube probably tomorrow. But we're just gonna rank all of the dungeons so far from season 1, 2, and 3. I guess in no particular order. We'll just kind of go through. Or do you want to do like season 1, season 2, and then season 3?
The question is, do we remember the
What are we
pool for each
ranking it
season?
on? Is it like
I think
literally
just fun,
Okay.
which is kind of hard to separate from what's like easy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
just like for funsies, you know?
Yeah.
What's up, Zach?
I was gonna say there's a couple outliers that are really easy that I found extremely boring. So.
Dude, I forgot
Yeah.
about Temple of the Jade Serpent, and I'm getting like fucking flashbacks right now.
All right, let's start with that because I
Like, what if
agree.
you
That's
do,
going
like,
in D.
difficulty or something?
Oh yeah, totally.
D for dog shit. Holy fuck, I hate that place.
It's the opposite of Pog Doggers.
I think especially the first boss. How many people have died to the water frontal?
Oh my god,
Dude,
the
third
quaking
boss
water
was
frontal.
So
And then the geysers too.
I don't
That
know.
was
I'd
like
like
a
to go back
psychotic
in there
dungeon.
now. I'd like to go back in there with the knowledge of dungeons and shit that I have now, and like the shit that like I've gotten better at over the last season or two. Like it'd be cool to go back in there and actually dodge the frontal every fucking time.
Well, now that quaking isn't an affix, because that boss became like insane when there was
Nightmare
quaking.
difficulty. Yeah.
And wasn't it the same season as Thundering or no?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah,
So it'd be
it was.
quaking,
It was, yeah.
thundering, fucking tidal wave, dog shit
So I
animation.
was
Oh
just
my
saying
god.
before we started, I'm in
Yeah.
general not a fan, or at least in the past haven't been a fan of the reworked dungeons like the old ones. I feel like everything Legion onward was designed for Mythic Plus, so it makes sense. And the ones that they kind of reworked before, they've gotten better at doing it, but a lot of the mechanics just like Temple of the Jade Serpent's a perfect example of a lot of those mechanics.
There you go,
just
Sim.
suck
Yo,
for Mythic Plus.
You
Yeah.
changed it to F, Narnar.
Yeah.
And I think the worst part of that dungeon is actually the last boss. Like from a competitive standpoint, you have to go in there with either a warlock or a priest.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
See, I always just died before I got there.
Certain comps to really.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
died before I got there.
Dude, every pug wiped on the pack right before that boss. What do you mean?
Oh
One
my god,
actual
true.
boss.
Even the first
Yeah.
trash when you go to the left, like before the first boss, that trash sucked too. The
Oh, it
pulsing guy
could.
who didn't LOS.
Oh, right.
When you're like
Yeah, that
a
was
tank
crazy.
trying to gather everything and the DPS all pop their cooldowns and rip back.
Also, like, how many times in the courtyard does your tank just get fucking owned completely?
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, my tank's
Those
fine.
were
Oh, he's
really-
dead. Oh my god, run. He's
That was such a
over.
rough
Or
dungeon.
the ads, the little small ads that explode and then they would get raging and explode even harder.
Oh, yeah.
No.
or when it was bursting week and then you'd have the explosions plus bursting.
Oh my god.
Like the fact that
Holy-
those did mechanics or affixes is just I don't know.
Yeah,
who made
Temple
it.
is huge F. For
I was
sure.
gonna say that basically locks that in right there.
We renamed the tier for F.
I
I
like
remember,
to have
like,
gotten
Raging week, you have to go in there with an evoker to do mass soothe. So you need an
Mhm.
evoker and then you also need a priest or a warlock. So that's like
Right.
every other DPS is trying to fit into that third spot. Which is
Yeah,
just
that was a
never gonna
crazy,
work.
crazy key. So I think the polar opposite of that was Azure Vault, which I really liked. I don't know how you
I
guys
was
feel about
really-
Azure Vault.
Worried about Azure Vault at the beginning, but after they did all the reworks and stuff, it works. Like I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good
yeah, a lot of people were really down on it at the beginning of the season, me included, and then I
Well, I
can't
think
even remember
actually
all the
what
changes because there were so
changed-
many.
I think what made Vault better was the new route of like jumping off the ledge. Just made it so much
Yeah,
better.
that was cool.
That's true. That too.
But then they took that away. I don't know if you guys have run it since then, but if you queue into like a Mythic 0, you actually die if you try to jump off that ledge now.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but
Oh wow.
don't know if that's in the M0, like in the M plus version. I know it's in like the leveling and the M0.
Well,
I'm
they did it
hoping it's
after
not
the
in
season
there.
ended, so it hasn't been Mythic Plus
Right.
since then. But
Yeah, so we won't know until PTR. I'm just judging based off of the season 1 version, I guess. I liked it a lot because I feel like it was like really scary, but then if you just coordinated your like AoE stops, that whole first area was like pretty free and pretty nice AoE. But if you're like in a pug, remember those like the
Yeah, I was
little
gonna say,
trees that would
I have a
freeze
lot of
everybody?
bug trauma from
Yeah.
people like running into the whelps and triggering the traps was terrible. But if you were in a coordinated group, yeah, I agree that dungeon was a lot of fun.
It was pretty cool.
Especially certain roles. Like I feel like tanks, that was really your chance to shine. Of like
I
showing
loved
how
tanking
big
that
you can
place.
pull.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the rings.
it was really
especially. It's
cool.
fun.
Because if
I
you
felt
if
like
you
the-
knew exactly how to counter everything, it was like it was kind of intense, but you could pull like really big in a
Mhm.
lot of the spots. It was really fun. What are you gonna say, Mac?
I felt like a lot of the high keys there ended at the orb boss. I forget what
Oh,
his
that
name
boss was kind of annoying actually.
I was just gonna say, I think the bosses were my least favorite part of that place.
Didn't they tune
Yeah.
it
I
though
agree,
after
I
a
agree.
while? Like that orb
Gonna
boss?
turn Dumpy
Didn't they
up a
fix
little
it
bit.
after a while and it wasn't like just unmanageable?
Are we
Yeah,
talking about the
I actually
second
can't
boss?
remember.
Was that the
Uh,
second one?
yes.
I think
Yes.
so.
I
When
thought
you
it was-
jump
it's-
down from the top.
Yeah, and you had to clear the trash like around the room.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But then there
I
was
think
like
that one.
the
The only thing that
intermission. He would like
That
run
was
to
the
the middle.
dragon boss. The third boss was the caster guy that would like teleport to the middle.
yeah, because the
Yeah,
last
and he
two
would,
were
like,
like
shoot
boss and
orbs
then
out.
boss. Oh shit!
Yeah, like the
Yo, thanks,
frozen
Crown.
pools in the floor, whatever.
What the
was
hell?
his third boss. The second
And it did
boss
like a lot of like
was-
ticking damage and rot damage.
Thank you.
The second boss.
Oh no, we're gonna.
I feel like
have
is a consistent problem in Mythic Plus for as long as I've been doing Mythic Plus, which is that it has an ad phase. And then
Get the
with super
dragon.
high keys, it just doesn't scale well because you spend so much time killing ads that you don't get to damage the boss and just like you start phasing 4 times.
I
5
forgot
times,
about
and
this
it's just
sound.
unmanageable.
I can't hear anything they're saying.
Like I remember back in
But
BFA,
thank you so
there was
much.
King's Rest with the totem boss. Like if you got to a high enough key, it took you so long to kill the totems that you never got to damage the boss. You just be killing totems the whole run.
Even Brackenhide in last season was pretty rough for.
Yeah, they did tune Brackenhide to be manageable, I think, but it's just bad design in general.
Oh, wait, hold up. Where
Yo,
do we?
Chronic with the
Where do we
5
want to
gift.
put Azure
yeah.
Vault? Yo, yeah.
Yo.
Thank you, Crown. I think that's Uncle
I
Carmine.
would put it at. I would say.
I
A,
like.
Yeah.
I would say S, but I'm willing to put it in A if
I think
people
Azure
aren't on board with
Vault?
S.
Fucking Azure Vault all the way up there, really?
I was actually
Hell
gonna say
yeah.
B.
Like,
I was
I was
gonna-
gonna, yeah,
B.
B seems more
I'm
right.
between A and B. I
think
think
it's kind of middle of the road.
it was
Okay.
it was a lot of fun in some places, but there were some significant
It
problems.
was
with
annoying as a DPS hunter because it felt like you had no control how that dungeon went. Like you can't heal yourself on fucking those the like rot damage and shit like that. Like and it like there was kicks and shit in that one area and you can't help too much with that either. It was
Mhm.
not as fun as BM.
I'm gonna go with high B, low A, and we'll kind of position stuff around it.
Can we get a
Yeah, that's
B
fun.
I feel
plus?
strongly about this one. Yeah, B plus. We'll put it
Actually,
here.
really Hey, holy moly.
Dude, it was
Everyone did
good.
too.
It's
I
a good
really
one to
liked
tank.
Azure
It's a
Vault
fun
as
one to
well.
heal in a few spots. You have good
A few
CC, it can really shine. Okay, and then we kind of started talking about Brackenhide too, so we could do Brackenhide next, which I feel like I'd rate pretty highly, except for the totem on the last boss being really like a challenge, but also that it's the last thing you do in the dungeon. So like you could have a great run, and then you're just like bricked to this fucking totem, and you
I
kind
was
of have to
gonna say,
like.
too,
Mm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the like you'd have to, I forget what that trinket was called, but I never had one because it was from Raid. But you'd like alternate the
beacon.
trinket, the beacons. Yeah, you'd be like, okay, you beacon this one, I'll beacon this one. It's just like, I don't know. It should be totems like that should kind of be capped at like
That's
certain
a good
health,
idea,
I think.
capping them.
Yeah.
or make them.
It's
I don't know what the
thing,
fix
and
is. I don't love that kind of style.
Did you guys
And
ever
being that
play
it's
it
so
when you
late in the
bug it?
dungeon, it feels so bad when you fuck it up. What's that?
Did you guys play it when you could bug it out the totem on the last
I think we
boss?
tried once and then we didn't really do
It
it,
did-
and we were like, fuck it, it's fine.
It goes like one way or the other. Like the one time it felt like it was going faster after, but if it worked, it was a joke. That boss was a fucking joke if the bug worked, but it was so hard to like
Mhm.
time it right and everyone had to be on board.
Yeah.
Do we like Bracken more than Azure Vault or less?
I think
Well,
so.
I was gonna say also the first boss in Bracken I felt was either a deplete or you kept going, especially on
Oh, that's
Tyrannical.
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did
I
have
think
good
there's a place for those kinds of fights though. Like
and
there
early in
should
the
be
dungeon is a
some.
good spot for them.
Yeah.
I think. And it was
I
really
like the
cool because you could
variety
like
of
dwarf and caught them. There was like a
Mhm.
if everyone was working together, you could actually counter like almost everything in that fight. I feel like, but if you were just in a 20 pug, it was somehow harder than like a 27 with your friends.
Yep.
Which I think is kind of a cool design. But also, there's just so much AOE in this dungeon. It was pretty fun.
That's why I like it.
I was
That
gonna
was
say
also
a lot of
another
people
one.
I know love it for the AOE pad on Trash,
That was
and
also
I
another one.
want to say that makes me as a melee player, like a melee player who doesn't do great AOE damage, less favorable of this dungeon. But I also feel like this was a place where if you're really good at prio damage, and like knew when to do it instead of padding AOE, like it really paid off in that dungeon.
It was like
I
a
used to
good
run,
mage that knew how to like pyro the giant tree
blow up the tree,
instead of
just spamming
Or-
flame strike.
Running
Yeah.
with Shadow Priest that just makes the tree melt and everything around it.
Yeah.
You can spend your damage on. Yeah, I'm
Sadly,
trying to
neither
come
of
up
those
with
specs were good in Brackenhide. I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to come up with a take that's a little more nuanced than
Well,
just
so
like
I
I like doing
played,
big AOE, but
They're asking
played
it like
some-
someone mentioned melee. Buddy was saying, "Why aren't you speaking up about melee, Dumpy?"
Yeah, Dumpy's getting called out in the chat.
Yeah,
right now.
like-
I mean, I don't know. Was melee that bad in Brackenhide? I feel like there were
Well, okay, so
dungeons
I
in
played
that
a
season
lot
that were
of
way worse.
Enhanced Shaman, which is like hard capped at 6 targets. So the only thing I could do there was like blow up that tree, the big tree, as fast as possible to make them stop spawning ads. But there were times when if your tank understood that and routed around you burning the tree down, it really like paid off, and you could do some cool shit with that. But
Yeah.
most people like pug groups just go in there and blast AoE, and you know the dude's spawning ads as fast as you can kill them, and it looks great on meters. You're doing like
Yeah.
600k, but then the things never die.
I feel like there's this like affix where if you have like 20 targets, all your DPS are just like, oh my god, look at all the targets. And like they
Yeah,
can't
they're
they
staring at
can't kick
details. They're not
anything.
looking
They
at
can't,
their
it's-
character.
yeah, it's true. It's almost as if they're
Like,
staring at a useless part of their screen the whole
God.
time. Look at all these mobs. Holy shit.
That'll be Algathar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, so
Why don't we-
let's
why don't we
settle
move
on
on to-
Brackenhide real quick. Is A okay?
I like Brackenhide a
I
lot.
think it is good.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
don't we
we're
do
talking
Algathar then?
Algathar? Sure. Algathar is all right.
That's
I'll
S tier
not.
for-
Okay.
I like that dungeon a lot.
I'm on
That's
board with
fun.
S as well.
Yeah.
Any non-S Algathar people?
The only
I-
thing I
I
hated
love
about
it.
Algathar was the mana bombs. Just did way too much damage.
I
That's
was gonna say,
true.
what's the boss name? Veximus or something?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think he was like a gatekeeper for. Dude.
Yeah, it
There
was
were
pretty
just
hard.
some specs that like as a healer, you have to do huge burst healing and move at the same time, which is impossible for some specs. So it's
Yeah,
just like
I was gonna say that fight was very hard on Disc Priest.
yeah, any fight like that I feel like it just makes it so your spec can't even play the game.
Yeah,
Is
that
kind of bad design.
that fight was hard because it was hard on Disc Priest.
Oh wait, I think I
I mean,
F
it
tier.
wasn't just this. Like, I played
love
Resto
that.
Shaman.
I love that place.
And I remember, like, as Resto Shaman trying to chain heal people while they're like
Yo, I'm like
all
coughing up a
spreading out
storm.
around the room for the bombs. It was
Oh.
just, like impossible.
Mm.
Like there was nothing you could do. You can't link people because they're 30 yards away from each other. It's just it was
Well,
a
that's-
terrible fight
that's
for
the
getting.
problem.
No
was
one's
like-
standing in healing rain.
Yeah.
And like using Radiance, like Radiance wouldn't hit the whole party if everyone
Mhm.
spread.
Yeah, they would. If
Oh,
they,
true, yeah.
I think retuned the
guys
damage on
can't
that
hear that.
fight, or just like redesigned the mechanics somehow, like change the timing of the abilities maybe, so that they didn't overlap so much. Then it'd be S tier for me. But I think just because that boss sucks, I'm gonna vote A.
Yeah.
The rest of it was great, but I just hate that boss.
Pretty sure I met Heather in Algathar. I think your
that
friend
how we
note on my
met?
list is like BM Hunter Algathar 22 deplete is your note.
God damn it.
Wait, do you still have that
Uh,
note? Is that
I think
the-
I do. I could check when I log back in. I might have changed it,
We need to
but
confirm that.
I usually don't. usually don't
I wanna
change
know
them.
what my
Also
note is,
terrible.
too.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say
Interesting.
Maximus
Have, like,
wasn't even
high-
my least favorite
High
boss in
keys
that
when
dungeon.
Croth just wouldn't spawn.
Oh,
yes,
true.
that's the
The
best.
birds fucked up.
Okay, maybe we can't
Hmm.
put this dungeon in S tier, just because of the.
Well,
bugs.
something's got to go in
Fusion
S
X
tier.
Rough.
I would rather have Bracken in S than Algathar,
Really?
but
Really?
I don't know.
I feel like S tier is like
Will anything be S tier though?
Can we put an S tier dungeon
There's
that
one.
had a game breaking key?
I think
like,
probably underrot.
I really liked Nokud. Underrot was great too.
Oh,
but
I
I mean,
hated No Cood. It was just
Okay,
so...
hold on. Let's go with Nokud for now. Wait, can we leave Algathar in S? Do we have more than
Let's
half
move
the
it down
people?
to A. I think
Please
Move it
too.
down to A.
No, it's...
Holy. All right,
We
we'll
should,
keep it in
like-
S for now.
Oh my god.
If anything is better than it, I'll move it down.
We do A minus.
A minus. What the hell?
Brackenhide's already A minus.
True. All right. Okay, Brackenhide. Or not Brackenhide, I'm sorry. Nokud. I actually like Nokud kind of, but I'm not sure if it was just so long ago that I forget that there was bad parts. But you said you liked it, Ty?
Yeah, I really liked it. I think it was a very mechanic heavy dungeon, so a lot of pug groups struggled with it. But I mean, that's going to be a lot of dungeons, right? And I think those
Yeah.
dungeons for me are really fun. Like if you execute well, and it just feels so much better with a group that's all, doing what they're supposed to do. I love dungeons like that.
Yeah, I think I
will
remember
say the
tanking it
bosses were
late.
not easy on Tyrannical.
Those
Yeah.
bosses were pretty rough.
I think it was
'Cause
a
I know
cool
they nerfed a
progression.
few of them a few times.
That elemental boss is probably what you're thinking of with the orbs.
Raging Tempest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you
they
figure it
nerf-
out, you're
I know
like,
they
oh wait,
nerfed
I
that.
need 5 of these as a healer. Unless you're feeling like real
Mhm.
confident, you're like, oh, I can just like take these orbs and just pump. There was some cool stuff there too, where you could like taunt it as a warrior and then spell reflect that bolt or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a
Yeah,
lot
there
of
was a lot of
like
cool
cool
tech
tech.
in it.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
was also, if you were a DK, you could mind control the ads that get you a haste buff
Oh,
and then
yeah,
run
yeah.
the whole dungeon with them.
Oh, that's pretty sick. Yeah, I like Nokud. It's like similar to Brackenhide Algathar, where like there's a lot of AOE, but I think I would
did
put
not
it
like the last boss in No Good.
true.
I think it
Like-
had a lot of issues.
Yeah, if you broke CC at all, I think it was.
Oh, because it had that phase
Almost
where
a
it would
reset.
spawn 4 ads that you
The
had to like
intermission,
kick,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would just
and you either
rapid
had a
fire cast
DK
at
or you didn't.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think there were a lot of other ways to deal with that, though.
yeah. I remember
think-
like hastily trying to call like, all right, you kick this, you kick this, you kick this, I'll kick this.
Yeah.
And then it works out like if you coordinate, which I think is kind of cool. Like I like that in dungeons, but it was also kind of brutal in pugs when people don't do stuff. I don't know.
I like dungeons like that where there's a lot of room to be creative with like how to deal with different mechanics. I feel like Nokud had a lot of that.
Yeah. I didn't wait, did they ever take out the thing where you couldn't like hide behind the last boss's spear with the rock that was like in the
No,
arena
that
with
always
him?
worked.
I don't think they took it out.
No, you could always
think-
like take. You could always.
Okay.
At
do-
least for this, I haven't done
Yeah.
it since then, but for the whole season, it still worked.
Yeah, you'd
Okay.
like charge him into it, right? You mean?
Yep.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
run into
Yeah.
that instead of hitting you.
Yeah.
I do like when
Mhm.
there's things
Yeah.
like that, whether or not they're intended, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I feel like
having
that got fucked up though. I feel like there's ways to mess that up.
sometimes the boss would just charge out of the arena and reset himself. That was silly.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you have that dungeon without having all the required packs, but having that many packs required to spawn bosses,
I think.
I guess some people don't like. I don't know. I thought most of the bosses in there were fun. Most of the trash wasn't like that obnoxious.
Yeah. Also, we didn't even
think
mention
it
that was
was,
the one dungeon with dragon riding in it, right? Which didn't
Yeah, people were
wasn't even a problem at all.
No,
It was
it
kinda
like,
chill.
didn't factor in at all.
I think in the beginning, like people were trying to figure out optimal ways to, like I remember in the beginning, you used to not fly the same route
Well, it
that
was
you did
just
towards the end of the
Oh,
season.
the expansion was
Hmm.
new, right? So some people were still like learning
how
how to
to dragon
dragon
ride.
ride.
We're like
people didn't
inting the
have all their
dragon ride.
dragon, like crests, so they could. They
True.
only have 3 charges of the thing, and so they have to hop on somebody else.
Oh
and
yeah, you didn't
attach
have
it
all
everywhere.
6 figures
Yeah.
slots open.
Brutal.
No, I think the idea of dragon flying was cool. It didn't like make the dungeon worse at all. It just didn't really open up the route that you ran the dungeon. You still pulled all the bosses in the same order every time. You still like, I mean, the route didn't change that much throughout the season, but yeah,
I hated the
guess.
dragon riding in it. I think that was just a skill issue. I'd get fucking lost, man, and I'd be like spinning
my
around
God.
trying to land and shit. Like I hated
You'd be
it.
like, "Can I jump on? Can I jump on?"
Yeah, I would try to jump on people's dragons and just have them like chauffeur me around it.
True. Okay, we're feeling high B for that one. That sound cool?
For me, it's an S.
Or we like
I
it more
liked
than that?
I know that's the unpopular opinion. I think for a lot of
Hmm.
people, it was a hard dungeon for sure, and so
Yeah. Could do like
but in
below
terms of, like,
Brackenhide and
fun-
A as a compromise.
yeah.
Cool. Dumpy hit us with the
Works. I like
alright.
Azure Vault more than I like Nokud, but that's
I think I do too. But Ty feels strongly, so I'm willing to. Wait,
Yeah.
Simp
I mean,
hates this
I
dungeon.
feel like I haven't heard any real criticisms of Nokud other than it was just hard.
Yeah, it was kind of hard. I feel like it was kind of long too. But I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think I like it. I like
Yeah,
tanking it
I
for
thought
sure.
I hated it.
Oh,
I thought I
think
hated
A-
it, but
I
now
think
that
A
we're
is a
talking
Now we're like, let's
about
go
it, I'm like,
Nokud, bro.
actually, that's not bad. Yeah, let's go fucking hang out.
Nokud plus
there
20.
were some issues. There were some trash in that place that like never got tuned and was completely illegal to pull. Like everything around the last boss. There,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
you already had most of your
Yeah.
account by the time you got there, anyways. But
Mm-hmm.
if we're gonna criticize dungeons for not getting tuned and having really bad trash, then a lot
Do you
of
guys
other
know how
places,
big
like,
that place actually was?
The
Yeah, like
entire
half the
area
map.
of
Pretty giant.
Nakud.
like
Just
hard plains.
enormous.
The entire
Yeah.
Oh, you know what was also cool? The first area, I think I played BM Hunter a little bit this season, but you could stand like the charge bleed would always go on the farthest. But if you were like running while it charged you, you could dodge it, or you could put like a frost trap in front of you. There was kind of cool, like something to counter and feel like pretty powerful about. I like stuff like that. Where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna make sure I'm the farthest target, and then like I could
Yeah.
like
Oh,
disengage it as a boomkin, or like just be in cheetah like as it's charging and vortex it and stuff. That was pretty cool, I think.
I love binding
Later,
shot
Panda.
in a no
I was
code.
gonna say hunters
Yeah,
are
it was a
great.
good binding shot
Yeah.
for sure.
For ice trap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty good. All right, I'm cool with it in A for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
I also think Hunters S tier never bloom.
In Everbloom. All right, let's talk about
Oh,
Everbloom.
I don't like, or
Oh,
any
with
dungeon
the-
with the
F,
charging
hard
mob.
F.
Yeah.
It's going
Agreed.
right
Yeah,
to the
yep.
F.
I don't think we
It's
even have to
actually
talk about
better
it.
than
It's just-
Temple. It's better than Temple, I think.
It's better designed than Temple, but it's way overtuned. They should have.
As far as like a returning
Could you
dungeon.
imagine if they just removed the on death affixes from the stupid flowers?
That would be game
Yeah.
changing.
Like
Everything
4 or
would be a
5
3
tiers moves up.
chest.
Oh man,
You just pull everything. You do the whole thing in like 2
That's
pulls
all
and
we
then the
want.
boss. That is
That's all I
true.
want.
That is the secret. There's not even much to talk about with Everbloom. It's just not
there's
a good key.
Cinderbolt
Actually,
Salvo.
similar thing.
I-
There's the
2
yeah, for
minutes
real.
are fun in there. 2 minutes are fun in there, and like you do big numbers. Like at the end of the dungeon, you're doing like 400k plus kind of thing.
Holy,
That's
That's
why
the
I like
only
the
reason I
Ever
like
Bloom.
it. It's the
Well, I
That's
think
the
a
only
true
boss-
BM Hunter
minute
take.
pulls.
Last
The 2
boss
minute
double damage.
pulls.
Isn't last boss double damage?
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Heather's
Yeah,
like,
and
me
you
do
just-
big
you
damn.
blast. Same Same as in Throne too. You just the 2 minutes just line up so nicely with the big pulls in there. Like there's
That's true.
always
Tier.
a big pull, but it sucks because yeah, there's the kicks, there's the bosses that are just so fucking strong, and as a BM, they're so scary. But
I think one of the worst parts, like Max said, is the Cinderbolt thing, where like I don't think there should ever be a mechanic that you randomly take more. Like it's like
RNG,
supposed
yeah.
to be an
It's-
AOE
it's
ability.
RNG
Like-
bolts. And
but
if
it
someone
fires
dies,
a
You,
Yeah,
you
if
can
somebody
get
dies,
3,
that's
but you might get
dumb.
4.
It's so dumb. I don't like that at all. Like that should have been fixed. And you also can't Zephyr it
Yeah.
because it's like a series of bolts. It's not an AoE. And there's something where like if you defensive after it's already flying at you, it like doesn't factor in your defensive. There's just so many weird things going on. And then the last boss basically has a totem, like Brackenhide.
Exactly,
So
exactly. Terrible.
it has like all these factors that are just bad. The only thing that's good about it is it's like me do big damn. But like other than that,
that
I think in
sucks.
terms of like taking old dungeons and reworking them for Mythic Plus, they did do a good job of like redesigning the dungeon as a whole, but it just needed way more tuning than it got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if they
Yeah,
just,
like, they could
deleted
fix
all
this.
affixes, it'd be a better dungeon. But
True.
even
could,
still,
like,
yeah,
go in and
problems with
fix
the
this
last two
dungeon.
bosses.
And it'd be pretty good, but I don't know, they didn't, so. But I think the opposite of this is Throne, which is one of my favorite keys this season, I think. I think it gets harder, like, the higher you go up, obviously. Like, it's, like, one of the first keys where you start hitting, like, oh, this is, like, too hard, I'm dying to
Yeah.
everything
I'm
kind
gonna
of
say
thing.
the same thing as Everbloom, where like they did a good job reworking, like adding new mechanics, making it work for Mythic Plus, but it needed way more tuning. Like that place is just a nightmare for tanks. And then I would say
Yeah.
the other problem is like the fact that the route is so linear. There's no room for like making it work for your group comp. You basically have to go in there with the Vengeance CH because in a higher key, because like if you don't have Silent Sigil or just
Oh,
Sigils
yeah.
in general, like you can't do
True,
that.
when I'm raiding Throne, I'm raiding it with a Vengeance Demon Hunter tank. I should have
And
clarified.
also, I felt like Throne leaned more towards Monk being the best healer because having
True.
revival for the gauntlet was invaluable.
Oh, by the way, when I'm ranking this key, I'm ranking it with a Mistweaver healer. Should have clarified.
Totally outplay the
It's just
revival
well,
nonetheless.
so the sigils are one issue for tanks, and then I feel like just the bleed damage was unhealable for most other tanks. Like
Yeah, man.
Oh, the bleeds are crazy.
Monks
Yeah.
fall over. Like DKs can do crazy healing until you just miss like one death strike and you're dead.
Cauterize is like so powerful in this key. I forget sometimes because I'm like always playing the dragon, but when you don't have one, you kind of like there's like 3 spots where you kind of just like save the pull by having Cauterize. Sometimes it feels kind of cool, but it definitely feels bad if you don't have one. The little dragon dog things that fixate that don't unfixate when you stun them, I think was a mistake.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Yeah,
Like that shouldn't happen like that.
and
but
it's more RNG,
also-
right? Like
Yeah.
if you're a DPS or a healer and you just get 3 fixates, you want a fortified key, like you're probably dead.
You're just
unless you have an
instantly dead.
immunity.
Right.
Especially if you're melee and you have.
I'm
you
just
don't
sitting in
react to it.
dispersion for the full duration,
Yeah.
running. I don't know. Where do we want to rank this one?
It's.
I think it's
Throne?
got some goods and
C,
bads.
like slightly
Yeah.
better than Everbloom, but still needed a lot of work.
Really?
Wait, do we get a D?
No.
No, we just went
Just C
right
to
from
F.
C to F.
It's
Like,
gonna
I watched
scuff my
Bernard
whole
change it.
presentation.
I know, I'm like, it was D. And then as soon
It
as
was
we talked
D.
about Jade.
Yeah.
I mean, I could.
It's like F.
Well, you guys know where S came from as like the top of a tier list.
Is it
It's the
super?
grading system from Japan.
Oh
So
shit.
above A's they have S,
Oh wow.
like in school.
Yeah, because
That's
like a
kinda
lot
cool.
of the games too, like, will have like Resident Evil will have like
Yeah,
S.
I
S
it comes from the
feel-
school
I
system
thought
in
the
Japan.
S was like for like super awesome or
Yeah, that's
something.
what I thought.
I mean, maybe it is, but I just know it's.
I feel weird having Throne next to Vault like that. I guess we still have a lot of dungeons to go, and I don't want to keep you
That's
guys
why I
here
was like,
forever.
maybe
So
put B.
Yeah, those are
We'll keep
really
going.
close to each other.
I guess we could upgrade Vault to B. I mean,
low
To
or low A.
A?
Yeah, because that's kind of it was like low A, high B when I was thinking of it. This looks better to me.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cool. All
That's
right,
fair.
so Throne's chilling at C. Let's look at Vortex. Does anyone
F,
like Vortex?
F.
Straight
Does
F
anyone
between
like
F?
Everbloom.
Horrible.
Existence
I
like
hate-
Vortex? I don't think so.
God.
I think
I think
between
Vortex
Temple
was
and Everbloom.
better than Everbloom and Temple. I would put Vortex in C with Throne.
Is that
You
just
might be
'cause it's
right,
shorter?
actually.
Level.
I think
I'll
that
put it
was
in
one
front of
the hardest, like,
Everbloom.
fortified
I think
dungeons in a long time.
it was terrible because it had basically perfect trash. The last boss, another.
Wait, did my
totem
screen just
boss.
get brighter for
I don't know. I
anyone?
don't
Yeah,
think
I
it was
mean,
fun. It was super long. It was
there
outside.
were
You
a lot of
couldn't mount.
problems with it, but I feel like there was also some cool tech, some cool mechanics. Like some of the bosses were, I don't know. I thought it was fun and challenging.
What I didn't like was the Harry Potter pole when everyone had to hide under the
I
staircase.
hated that. You couldn't
Oh,
see.
yeah.
You couldn't see
Yeah.
anything,
It's
and it was
just
like
couldn't
definitely
see.
correct. But the first like 2 or 3
Definitely
times
correct.
your tank made you
Well,
do it,
even
everyone
that
just died.
Spiteful.
scraping, yeah,
too.
spiteful. Sorry.
Oh my god,
Fuck, dude, that was
spiteful.
so scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was no good.
There were
Also, the
definitely-
last
it was
boss
one of those-
also had a totem. Sorry, go ahead,
Yeah.
Dave.
Mhm.
I was
The
gonna
timer was
say,
also very
it's
tight,
the kind of
wasn't it?
dungeon that like affixes can make it really terrible, depending
True.
on what week it was.
I don't
Yeah,
even
it is
feel like it was
vulnerable.
like that fun either. I think it was.
The
one of
only
the
thing that was
more
fun was
boring
when you
dungeons.
timed it on a key level that was good enough, and you're like, "Whew, we don't gotta go back in there."
Yeah.
for a little
Yeah,
while. That was a good feeling, but I don't know if I
think
call
that was
that
only
fun.
a 30-minute timer too. It was one of the shorter ones.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was tight.
It's
I
a
think it goes
banger
back
low
to,
key
like,
vault
what
key
we-
though, kind of.
What we said at the start of like it's kind of hard to separate fun from like good
I take that
dungeon
back.
design from it was fun.
didn't
'cause
mean
it was
that, guys.
easy. I think Vortex is one that like kind of like Throne like is designed well but needed more tuning. It was just too hard.
Yeah, it needed to stay in the oven longer. The first pull in Vortex Pinnacle might be the least fun first pull on this list.
Because like
Oh my
Everbloom and
God, true.
Temple,
Tornado?
to me, Everbloom and Temple are an F because they're just poorly designed. Like they needed to fix a lot of
Simp.
the mechanics.
Yeah, it's not
Whereas
just trash or
Throne-
just boss
Throne and
fights.
Vortex were like the design was fine. It just needed some numbers adjustments, or like affixes to be different because affixes are their own problem.
Yeah, a lot of these dungeons play a lot differently depending on the affix week, but it's hard to separate that from
Mm-hmm.
the experience of playing it at the time.
I'm not gonna
Vortex
die on a sword for Vortex. So
I mean,
if you want to keep it in F, that's fine. But to me, I would put it in C. Like,
I think I will, and then
hate
at
the
the
first
end we'll do a
boss.
quick like, hey, do any of these look severely out of place now? And then we could shift it if we want to, and kind of rebalance it a little bit. But I think for now, I think F is chill. The one me and Ty just ran and bricked
Fall.
because of a DC and some shenanigans. How do we feel about fall? I feel like this is like kind of a favorite, but also kind of a struggle sometimes. I don't know. What do you guys think?
it
Timer is very
is-
generous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
I was
like
gonna say it's a
fall
free
is-
timer. but
It's almost the opposite of what we were just talking about, where like it feels good because it's easy in terms of the timer. There were some design issues, right?
Mhm.
Like the timer did not match the count at all. It was just way too long of a timer.
I think there was in both the mega dungeons this season. There was way too much RP. And
yeah, way too
downtime.
Yeah.
big,
True.
way too much travel time, way too much flying time. Just
That is
I feel
true.
like Dawn in general was designed for like RP reasons and not around Mythic Plus. They didn't
Mhm.
really think
Exactly,
about
100%.
routes.
Kind of feeling B for this, and then probably
Yeah,
we could rank
Yeah.
Rise next as well. But does B
Doesn't
sound
have
good for
anything.
everyone?
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Yep.
There's no
Cool,
like
cool.
egregious mechanical issues that I have with it. Most of it's just the dungeon feels long.
I
which
thought the
isn't a good
bosses
feeling.
in Fall were kind of cool, but
Yeah.
the trash is just like there's not much, right?
I don't like how the
Yeah.
last boss feels like an actual raid boss.
Oh wait, hold on. The trash in the
What?
second boss area is like criminal.
On Fortified, yeah, that
Oh.
trash is
I almost forgot.
Yeah.
brutal.
There's just like
yeah.
Yeah, the
those
trash design is
uncounterable
F.
sand debuff was like insane. Plus the debuff that goes out from the other guy. Yeah, that
I would
was
say
like nuts.
The boss design in Fall is like A or S. The trash design was F. And just like
So-
routing and all that.
So that's a B average.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
put it in the middle.
Cool. And then how do we feel about Rise? I feel like Rise is like Fall, but a little bit worse.
I
But
think
it-
Rise is
it's-
fun though.
Yeah.
Like
It
it's
is kinda
actually like
fun.
a
Because of the
fun
mini-
dungeon. I love the mini game, dude. I would
Oh my
rank it S
God.
for just the fucking mini
What?
game. Like it's
Heather
so
has
fun.
Turtle and Cheetah, and she's
but-
out.
I don't.
No, I
This
don't
is-
turtle it though. I've never
She
turtled
doesn't
it.
turtle it. Yeah.
No,
No.
but,
Never. Oh my.
no. I'll
Clip it.
literally stand there
Oh,
and
P
throw,
flips.
and
P
I'll be
flips
like,
is
I'm
calling
not
you out.
taking. I did not just say
I
that.
don't
I'm
think
sorry.
Rice is a good one. I don't like the RP.
Yeah.
I would say either B or A. I think it's B or A. I think it's a fun dungeon. I think that
I
the
was thinking C.
I'm gonna
fun and
say I'm gonna vote B. I think
you
it
guys are
needed
whack.
some tuning, but it was a fun
Yeah.
dungeon overall.
I'm thinking B/C, but B's cool, but we'll put some dungeons between it, I think.
I don't think
But-
they should be in the same tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, I was gonna say C
Hmm.
for Rise.
I think
Okay,
Rise
let's
is
put it
more
high
fun
C
than
then.
Fall.
I honestly, the
Yeah,
only
damn it.
redeeming thing of Rise for me is the first area. I think it's fun to tank. It's fun to DPS. Because you could do these like giant pulls if you can
Yeah,
like
that's what
control
you said
it.
yesterday. You do the
Mm.
first platform, then you want to zone out of the instance.
Yeah,
See,
that's
I-
got to
I
count for
love
something.
taking The start of fall is fun to me.
That's true.
Just doing
Yeah,
that a whole room.
similar reasons
Pulling
there.
the whole room on the boss is very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that looks better.
We'll put some dungeons between these as well. Let's look at Shadow Moon Burial Grounds if we can remember.
Oh shit!
I didn't like this one at all,
No, I
but
think
it was
C
the
is not
famous
gonna
20
lie.
key for weeklies because it was
I
just so
actually liked that
easy.
dungeon.
I'm gonna say I did not like it.
Okay.
What did you
C.
like about it, Mac, specifically?
I don't like. I liked
That it
the
was
boss.
free.
I liked the boss.
The
Yeah, it was
Quick
free,
adventure
but I
in
liked
and
the
out, 20
boss
minutes.
There was another totem
design,
boss on the last
and even
boss,
like the whole
too.
aesthetic of the place.
That's true. Aesthetic was
I
good.
never have to run the worm boss again in my life. I'll be a better person because
Oh
of
my
Oh
it.
God, the
that
worm.
boss.
That's
I
it.
do think
Holy.
like
I had mental breakdowns.
Shadow Moon actually got
fighting
really
a
hard at really high
target
tyrannical
double.
levels. But
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't for good reasons. It was just like the numbers got so big that it was unhealable. Like you couldn't live through
Mhm.
stuff. I don't think there was never a time I can remember that like we bricked a high Shadow Moon because people just failed at mechanics.
Oh,
It
there was
like,
also
you
those
just
mobs.
couldn't heal through this or whatever.
There was those mobs that would like their threat was based off of a mind controlled target like 20 yards away.
Oh yeah, fuck
And
those
then people would
mobs,
it would start like the most insane meltdowns in pugs where tank, taunt, and then tank's like,
Yeah.
that's not how that works. He's like, I don't care, I died to threat. And there's like, don't break this. Remember that it was like channeling something and everyone's like, break it, don't break it. Whatever you do, don't break it.
The trash before.
I really don't know how I feel. Like I want to just put this in B, like low B maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
There's nothing
Put it
really
after
special
Fall.
either way. I mean,
I don't
the
have anything to
grievous
complain
cats are
about.
kind of annoying, but also you don't have to
Cats are
pull 10 of them.
absolutely
Yeah.
horrible. Dude,
Yep.
like half the time, like I just like accept my death during certain shit in there. It's funny. Actually, like we so when I do the not even close app, there is a BM, like the 28s and like I think maybe even a 27, but everything from the bosses kill me. like
Yeah.
definitely in 28. So I need to like have like alternate my externals and shit. Like the bosses in there are so spooky.
True.
But only for me. Only for me. You guys wouldn't get it.
Also, the
What
last
the hell?
boss.
Yo, I play
It sounds
Aug.
like it
Swirls.
sucks.
I died of
The
stuff.
swirls in phase 2 on the last boss, it's just like complete RNG. There's
Oh,
nothing you
yeah.
can really do about it. Like if you're really fast as a tank, maybe you can pull him out, but most of the time it's like you just, if swirls drop on him too much and he goes to 10 stacks, you're just fucked.
Yeah, and
Like,
the
even if-
pools are
even if
like
you
way
drag him
bigger
around
than
the
they
room,
look
it's,
like.
hard to clear stacks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with low B
Yeah, I'd say B.
in between Fall and Rise, I guess.
I agree with that.
All right, Uldaman. I
Whoa.
feel like there's some cool shit in there, but I also hate this key.
It was
I hate
way
it as well.
overtuned.
It was horrible.
Overtuned and way too long. Like 5 bosses.
Yeah,
that took
that's a big thing too.
Oh,
almost
dude.
40 minutes.
I said this all the time, but like every time I'm in there, I go, "Oh, we're almost done, right?" And I'm like, "No, we need 40% count and 2 bosses still." I'm like, "Fuck, what do you mean?"
Are you excited for it to come back?
Not at all.
I don't know.
No.
And
I don't-
and
I
it was
don't
one of
think
those
so.
keys where you needed Master Spell too, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Passion spell and an
And
evoker for
Cauterize
Caught.
and Dwarf, yeah,
yeah.
it was rough. I mean,
I think it had some cool stuff. Like there was definitely some fun things about it, but kind of
Simp is right.
I'd put it in B. It's like it's got a lot of pros and a lot of cons.
Also, the
Sim
first
says it's a
roll,
mini raid. They put an M plus for
first
some
roll is either
reason.
a deplete or you keep going.
That's true.
In Alderman, think
Yeah.
about the totem boss. Another fucking
Yeah.
totem boss like that. You would just
Oh,
melt
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and there's only so much that you could do. Like
Once
feel
you
like-
If
get
the totem
to
didn't
that
die
make
fast enough,
totem
then
bosses.
yeah.
you were dead.
Do we like it less than Vortex? I honestly think I do. I didn't think that I would.
I don't know. I think it's F.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I think I liked it more
Yeah.
than Vortex.
Vor-
Maybe.
It's like between
I like
Vortex and
Vortex
Everbloom.
better.
In my
Yeah.
opinion, Vortex has been the worst
Because
dungeon.
Vortex
I've
was only
ever played.
3 bosses too, so it was and a
It
shorter
was
timer.
it was faster. I know
Yeah.
that much.
That's
know.
true.
There were some fun pulls in Alderman, but so many of the boss fights were just weird. Totem boss sucked. The boss that went into the shield phase where he had to run around the room, I did not like. I thought the snake boss was a cool idea, but I don't know. There were so many things that just made the dungeon feel like a slog.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's almost like a point system in my head where like if there's a totem, I don't like it. And if there's a phase that's based on time and not health percentage, like Emberon, the beams was based on time, I think, right? Like,
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
yeah, because it was definitely time, not percentage. I think anything like that, they should just make it like it's at 70, 40, and 10%, so you only get 3. Because it feels so
And it's
bad when you
consistent,
just keep
too.
getting them. Yeah, and like when it's like, I don't know. That stuff gets out of control, I think. It's like we could do Halls next, but like Halls has a similar problem. Where like
Oh,
the
on
last boss.
Yeah.
Or Halls of Infusion. I guess we have 2
Oh,
Halls
yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do Halls of Infusion, which shit, a lot of these are going in F. Like
Maybe we
I
do
don't know.
bump Vortex Pinnacle up. Maybe I was wrong.
Oh no.
Well, like you said at the
I
end, we
would
can.
put Alderman and Halls higher. I think they were
C.
well
Vortex could be
designed.
C.
It was just overtuned. I think you guys are remembering it feeling bad because it was overtuned, but it wasn't a poorly designed dungeon. Like the mechanics were cool. I think it was like a fun dungeon to run. It was just really hard for both Alderman.
I think
and
they
Halls.
could have fixed Halls with like 3 changes. And one is like those orbs that like suck people with that beam should like not recast when stunned.
Oh, yeah.
The last boss should be health percentage
But
based,
you know that
not
used to be kickable.
timer.
And then
Yeah, on
Blizzard said,
PTR.
well, this is too hard for casuals because they're not going to know what to kick, so we're just going to make it not kickable.
Holy.
They did the same thing in Underrot, right? Like
Dude,
a
my
lot of those
theory-
spells used to be kickable.
My theory with Halls was always like whoever made it like quit and then they didn't want to finish it. But like there was just like a few things they could have tweaked. Like that, was it called X-Pulse? No. The
Yes.
cast was called X-Pulse, but the suck beam, I don't remember what it was called. But you could freedom
Cayman
it.
beam or something.
You could shapeshift it as a druid. So when I'm doing that pull as a boomkin, I'm just permanently shifting between forms. And then I'm like, whatever, I'm going to stop shifting. And then I just die. And I'm like, well,
Instantly. Yeah. First boss requiring Shadow Priest.
I do
skipping all
agree
the
that
dragons
it's like a
requiring Shadow
cool.
I was gonna say
Priest,
that
The
dungeon
gauntlet
heavily relied on
existing,
having priests too for Mass Dispel and Mind
for it
Soothe.
feeling
Soothe, yeah.
okay. Yeah. And it
think
did feel okay when you had all of the right
Well, I should
cards
say
in your hand, but like
Mass Dispel nerf.
I think any
Yeah,
dungeon.
I don't think that was a
requires-
dungeon problem. I think that was a class balance problem
yeah.
that they fixed by nerfing Mind Soothe and Mass Dispel.
I think any
Yeah.
dungeon that requires a specific class is bad design.
I
It
agree.
is, but it made
In
the
like
dungeon feel
multiple
less
spots
miserable.
too.
But I think, I
So-
mean, so like first boss is a good example of like you could have fixed it by nerfing Mass Dispel, which they did, but you can also fix it by just tuning the numbers to where it's not absolutely required to have a Mass Dispel.
Right. Where it's like,
I
oh, this
remember
is
the
kind of
same
cool.
thing.
But
People
it's
went
not like,
back to the
oh,
original strat of like just running them out, right? Like there were other ways to deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that. I like fight designs where like depending on the comp, you can come up with different ways to deal with mechanics rather than just having one thing. But I think a lot of that's community driven. Of like, say for example, Wakeress. This season, everyone thinks you have to have a mage in Wakeress, right? You can build other comps that have enough burst damage to deal with thorns to where you don't need mages, but everyone's just so used to that. Or like more chi in Rise, everyone's like, oh well, you can't run this without a DH because how are you going to do the ads, right? Well, you can use the traps like it was originally designed, to be done. But everyone's just so used to this like cheese strat that
True.
they think that there's no other way to do it.
It does
And
feel
some of
really
that
cool
is
when you
driven
do
by
the
tuning,
cheese.
right?
Yeah.
So I think they could retune it to make that fight a lot more fun, or just that dungeon in general, rather than just saying like, oh, you have to have a certain class. Because I think there is a place to have utility like that, like non-healer dispels in the game. It just needs to be balanced, and I think it is tough to balance that, but it's not impossible.
Even just like increasing,
really fun.
Just like increasing the length of the dispel timer, so you can dispel like 1 or 2 of them if you're on top of it, and having people run out for their dispel and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, pugs are like lower keys. It's going to be a nightmare, and you're just going to have to run around with puddles all over the floor anyways. But like giving some other options besides just the one that's easiest would make the dungeon feel a lot better for classes that are not, or groups that are not bringing priests and stuff. I don't know. I did not have a lot of fun in Halls of Infusion, and so my opinion of it is very bad, but I
mean, all of
admittedly
season 2,
barely
I
ran
think,
it.
if you weren't part of the God comp, you had a bad time in season 2.
I thought it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
All the frogs. If you went to that frog room, that was fucked up.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
Like,
dude!
like, the rest of it was fun.
Yo, I think we started going that way, or
I
we
forgot
tried a
about
few
that.
times.
God.
It was like if you stacked and ran in a circle around the room, it was actually
did, like,
like,
never
not
touch
that
I ever
bad.
got into
Dude,
it,
I
do that. No. Like, you couldn't do it.
I was just murdered in that room every
And
time.
that's why. That's why.
Mac is just dead. No, that was I don't
That
love
was
this dungeon.
bad.
I do
That's
think
fine.
that they could go in, like a lot of these dungeons, they could go in and change like 3 to 5 things, and you'd be like, oh, this is like a B tier, A tier dungeon.
Yeah.
But like they didn't, so you kind of have to, like, it does have potential.
I think that brings it out of F though. Like you got to put it in C at least.
Yeah, like I like the frog boss. I like the third boss. I think they're both good. I think the graveyards
'Cause
are
To me,
a
F is
nightmare.
like, this dungeon sucks. Just delete it from the
like
game.
irredeemable.
Right. It's like
yeah.
irredeemably.
Yeah, I'd say C.
We can
I
go
don't
low
know.
C.
I think you could cook most
Personally,
of the dungeons in F and get them out of it, but
I think Halls has the most potential of the ones that were in F. Simp's gonna
I think
lose his mind if we put
Uldaman
this
and
any higher.
Uldaman and
I'm
Halls
pretty
have
I was
a lot
waiting
of the
for
same
it.
problems,
I'll allow it.
right?
Yeah.
Because like Uldaman and Halls, you both needed to master spell. There were like just certain mechanics that you couldn't do without it. Things like
Is
that.
Halls the worst key of Dragonflight?
I don't think so.
What? No.
I'm just
No
asking
way.
because Simp said that, and I just wanted to confirm that it's not.
Really fun, I thought.
It's-
I
it's
agree with
certainly
you, the last
bad.
boss should have been health based instead
I
of
think
the timer
Uldaman's
based that
worse.
was
I
going
think
up.
I dislike
Uldaman was
Uldaman
worse.
worse.
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep it low C.
Uldaman had so
Uh,
much different trash in it. Like, why did you need like 10 different kinds
You
of
need like a
trash?
Pokedex to navigate that place.
Yeah.
Right?
Like literally, like everything has like 6 ability. You're like, I remember like halfway through the season, I was like, this has a frontal?
It says
What?
Oh, they
I'm, like,
all the
tanking
little
it, like-
leaves,
like, what the
midway
fuck is
through the
this?
dungeon. Yeah.
God damn.
Just
All right,
There's
so
no
Halls of
earthquakes,
Infusion can go
too,
there.
In Uldaman.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was so much shit in there. Let's do the next halls next. Halls of Valor. If we can remember. Back to season 1. I think yeah, go ahead, Dumpy.
Okay, so as a melee player who didn't play in Legion, the amount of frontals that are not displayed anywhere in that dungeon are a war crime, but the rest of
Oh.
it is very
Oh
fun.
my god. That's true.
I spent so much of like the first month of the season on the floor in that dungeon and didn't know why.
Like,
But
reading the death thing being like question
Yeah,
mark?
like, what do you mean, Cleve? Where? But other than that, I think
Yo,
it
what's
was
up,
pretty
Tinsley?
good. I think Odin doesn't need to exist.
Yeah, I feel like that would've been
I don't
okay.
like most dungeons that end up having 5 bosses,
I agree.
especially
it-
ones that go boss to boss at the
I
end.
think
but
Halls of Valor
otherwise
was a
I
lot
liked
of
it.
fun though.
Yeah,
I think there were some cool fights. There was some fun trash in there. I would put it at a high B personally.
Pulling a bunch of Vikings was fun. Pulling like the entire forest area was fun. All bears pull was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
There was
I-
a lot of
Bullshit you can
stuff
do.
you could
I
do in
liked
there. That was a
Halls.
good time. Like
I
the
think
first
Halls
pull in
was
that
like-
place was
Hmm.
so much fun. Always felt like I was gonna die.
Halls is one of those where like once you figure it out, it's like, oh, this is kind of sweet. I guess the last boss was kind of troll sometimes 'cause with like running to the marks,
Yeah.
and I don't remember exactly how it worked, but it was kind of annoying. But I love tanking Halls. Like once you figured out that you could like micro step the those frontals, and you're like, oh, I could just pull 12 of these guys and take 0 damage, and my fucking boomkin's popping off.
Halls
whatever,
is
like-
another one of those dungeons I'd want to go back to now, like
Yeah.
knowing the game better. Like I
think
would
the
enjoy
first
it
boss was
thoroughly a
cool.
lot more.
Last boss was just overtuned in terms of the damage you took. Like
Yeah.
on a high key, that dot just basically one shot you unless you were like instantly moved to your symbol. And
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
you couldn't because there were orbs in the way, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, and there was
that's
like
an easy
RP at the
tuning
end as
fix.
well.
Well, they nerfed the RP too,
Oh, did they? Okay.
I believe.
I like Halls. I'm cool with Halls above Fall and around Azure Vault. Like
Yeah.
high B, low A.
Mm.
I'm even
I
cool
think
with
Halls
low
was more
A.
fun than Azure Vault, but I think they're pretty close.
Would put them.
I think it
about-
was I liked them for similar reasons, I think. Like with like if you once you get comfortable tanking it, or if your tank's like comfortable, you can really
You really
do
big
some
pulls.
big pulls,
Yeah.
yeah. And then if like you kind of get to like flex as a tank and be like, okay, like I remember like the first times we do the pulls with like 10 or 12 of those frontal guys, and just hearing people in Discord being like, whoa, 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 stop. And then I'm like, dude, no one's taking any damage. They're like, what? It just felt like really cool. But
Yeah.
if you misstepped, then you were dead, and then fucking everyone wipes. But I don't know. I kind of like stuff like that where it's like, if you can really just like focus up as a tank, you could pull off some crazy shit. And it wasn't that hard. It was just like, I don't know. You got to be like locked in, I guess.
I think it's good design. I thought Halls
Yeah.
was a great dungeon.
Yeah.
Again, some
Poor
like, tuning
animations on
issues,
those
but-
frontals, but fine.
tuning
Yeah.
issues.
Well, I also-
Herja or
so-
whatever. Having to like bug out Herja was kind of weird. Or
Season
bug
one
her out.
started around the holidays, right? And so I remember the first week of the season, I was home for Christmas and playing on my dad's shitty laptop. And Herja, I would, well, this was a problem with several bosses, but I had to turn my graphics super low to not lag out, not get like 2 FPS. But then if you turned your spell detail too far down, those orbs on Herja were literally invisible. Like you couldn't see them.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
So-
they did. 'Cause
It
they
was-
did change those.
I would literally, depending on the dungeon, have to go in and like change my spell
Tune your
detail for one
graphics.
fight, and then go back down afterwards so I wouldn't lag out.
Damn.
That's
Like constantly
crazy.
switching back and forth. Yeah,
That's
which
funny.
thankfully was just for like Christmas week when I was home. But
Just
yeah,
feeling
some of the,
insane
spell
when you check your
detail
dip.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I
dive to
forget,
nothing.
right? Because you're not used to like, oh, let me change my spell detail for this boss. And then
That's
I'd
so
get there
goofy.
and like the orbs are invisible. I'm like, oh god, like I'm just gonna try to follow someone else and hope that they're in the right spot.
Kind of smart. All right. Let's do the polarizing Neltherus.
That is so much fun. Nelth was a lot of fun.
I think any dungeon that has the actual dungeon do the damage to the ads is a bad design. I don't know if that's
I-
an unpopular take.
Fully understand that point of view, but I actually loved killing like
Yeah.
20 mobs with the chains. Like
I'm not saying it wasn't fucking fun. It was
Okay.
awesome.
It was a
But
banger.
I-
Simps overheating in the chat. Just wait.
I was gonna say I can hear him typing from here.
Yeah. You're clacking.
It's so I'm also a person who typically doesn't like that, but if the boss fights are fun enough, sometimes you can get away with it.
Were they fun
think-
enough though?
No,
It-
not in
I,
this
thought you guys
case.
were talking about Nelth
Chargath
earlier.
bugging out. Can we talk about Chargath's bugs?
Yeah,
did-
that sucked. The chain
Like, I
bosses
don't
would
know what
bug
half-
out,
Mm.
and then it
Don't
would
know
act
half
like
the
you didn't
trash in
clear
this place
anything.
does.
that's just the chain killed it.
Yeah.
I just feel like the
And-
chains were
Yeah.
risky half the time. Like you would die half the
Can
time. doing chains as like a DPS because
It was only really
don't know.
scary as a
I'd like
tank.
to
if you
I'd
put it
like to
there.
recognize one of the best tanks we've had though in Neltharis. His name was Silas, and he did not believe
Silas.
in using the chains.
Oh my god. A purist.
I forgot about Silas.
A true
man. I
terror
wonder
in
how he's doing.
LFG.
I don't remember who all
doing.
was in the group, but
Would he like
was,
actively run from the chains if people try to use them? Or he just like
was just
didn't
fighting
try?
mobs the normal way, like.
Natty way.
Oh wow, as
Yeah.
God intended.
And then we tried to tell him about the chains, and he's like, "Well, I've never been in a group that did it right."
Like
But-
even if the chains just stunned the mobs for 10 seconds and let you
That would have been cool.
I'd be
though,
okay
huh?
with
blast
that.
damage or something like
Yeah.
that instead
Yeah.
of them dying.
That's true.
Like I understand that it takes a lot of skill, especially in high keys, to coordinate getting your tank there alive and getting the rest of the group there alive and all doing it at once. And coordinating like that can be very fun, but I
Well,
don't
some
know.
of it was just RNG, not even coordination, because while you're running down that hall, you
Oh, yeah, don't
have
get
the
speared,
dudes
don't
that,
get
that
leaped.
do the leaps with the bleeds, right? And like that's
Oh,
pure
yeah.
RNG targeting. If you don't have a personal for that,
Yo,
you're
I just
dead.
cauterize
And
it. What do you
so
mean?
Just dwarf.
A lot of the success of that dungeon was just like getting good rolls on who got targeted with the leaps.
True.
never
And I
feels
think
good.
there was a way of like if you all waited long enough and let your tank run ahead, then the tank would get all the leaps, and like they might be a gay chat and be able to live through all that while they're gathering
Mhm.
everything. But for most groups, who's gonna fucking wait that long for the tank to run ahead, right? Everyone's like, oh, I gotta get there and do my damage. So
True.
Also,
I feel like
chain
that
pools-
almost never happened, and it was you were just like hoping for good RNG on the targeting, which
Mhm.
sucks.
the chain pulls on bursting week too. That was
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The most
Yeah,
high
like-
pressure mass dispel of my life.
yeah.
24
literally
stacks.
had-
I'm like, we're
if
dead
that
next
was not
tick.
timed perfectly. It was a full wipe.
Like, just keep
Like,
the
I'm gonna
priest
vote B
alive so
for
they can
Neltharis.
mass. B.
Like,
I'm
it's
cool with
a lot
that.
Of, a lot of pros and a lot of cons, just like Darkheart.
I'm
and-
I think
okay
I
with
liked
B.
it more than Darkheart and about the same as Fall.
Yeah, it
But
was
I also
definitely,
understand if
more
you're like
fun than Darkheart,
hardcore.
but
I understand the hardcore anti the dungeon doing it for you thing. So I'm like
They
taking
did
that
it
into
kind
account,
of
but I
well
don't really
because
feel that
it was
way.
like not the worst. My biggest concern with stuff like that was like the stars in Iron Docks. I know that was last expansion, but I think the
Oh,
stars
yeah,
were
sure.
really easy to fuck up.
Yeah.
So if you fuck them up, and it's just kind of like, oh well.
I
I
think
B.
B is
I don't
I'd say
know.
ahead of
It's-
Darkheart.
I
Yeah.
don't like
It was definitely more fun than Darkheart. Darkheart's just not
yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the buggy bosses, I would feel
gonna
more
say, I think-
strongly, or just the one chain boss that would bug. I feel a little more positive about this, but like, it was
Did
just a
you ever
weird
have,
key.
Yeah,
Forge
but
Master,
imagine
if you as a tank like ran him into the table, he would just like evade bug and despawn.
What? On the blacksmith?
Yeah.
Like the forge in
don't
the
think I
center
ever
of the
saw
room.
that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. No.
No. So like you know how he jumps to the tank? Like you have to run out to the side to drop the polo. or
Yeah.
whatever? If you drop it on the table that's in his room,
Oh,
it
like the
bugs
little
out and he
tables where the
despawns.
mobs are originally the little blacksmiths.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I'm
Ah.
remembering that right, but I'm pretty sure I've like if you land him in the wrong spot, he just evade bugs out and despawns.
That's so
He
sick.
sucks.
I think for
Damn.
the last boss, the range shouldn't have gotten the fucking melee.
Oh
thing
my
to do.
god, I forgot about
I
that.
hated it. I
You
hated
get
them.
fuck was
you
the
get
last
charge.
one?
Melee.
You get
Yeah,
the
I forgot
charge.
about stuff.
Like fuck.
Oh my
Yeah, you
god.
guys are more used to
Oh.
it. You guys do it. You guys do the fucking
Wait.
I
Flower,
loved
flower.
the charge one. I was
bouquet
so
and
good
shit.
at it.
I was
Dude,
so
I
bad 'cause
forgot
I
about
wouldn't
that.
time it. I wouldn't wait the 3 things because I'm like, dude, everybody's dying. I gotta go now, and then I get
Yeah.
fucking blasted.
If you're
Fuck.
patient and you just watch the swirls and time it right, it's so
Well,
much fun to
that's
do
it.
the charge thing.
I'm dying the whole time there. Like I'm scared, man. I'm trying to
Oh,
get
yeah.
the boss's shield off as soon as possible.
I
But yeah,
forgot
you have
about
to
that
wait.
boss, and I'm not gonna
And now
move
you
it
don't
too
like it
far.
anymore.
But
Dude,
that's a big negative on this one.
Do you
That
remember
last
how
boss was
unkillable that
cringe.
boss was? Like the first 2 weeks of the
Oh
season
my god,
before they...
that was as
The
they say,
Literally, yeah.
nuclear
curse,
difficulty
yeah.
in a plus 11 for the
Nuclear.
entire season. Like
Well, but they
the whole
they
season.
fixed it. They tuned
it was
it,
like
and it was
free
better.
in a 27, and you're like in like literally. I think I was in that dungeon for like an hour once in an 11 on my paladin. I think P Flips was in the run too. And I have a clip of it. Like, oh my god, I'm like having flashbacks. All right, it's staying in B,
Oh,
but
no.
I don't love this. I might like Rise more than Nelthorus. Does anyone agree?
Um,
I'm just thinking
Now that I'm
too,
I like
both
Rise.
those
I like Rise
dungeons
more.
as a tank, having many times where I've had to solo the last boss
Oh god.
because the group's just dead and you're like the
Yeah.
last one alive, and you're like, oh, let me just try to solo this if I can.
It might have been like a 15 or something.
Yeah, we
so-
might need to move Rise up, considering what the rest of C looks like.
Yeah, well, okay, we'll evaluate
We'll
at
see,
the
we'll-
end. I don't want to keep everyone too long, so let's keep. All right, so Nelthers. Let's look at Nelth's Lair now. How do we feel about Nelth's Lair? I know Heather was a big Nelth's Lair enjoyer.
I love Nelflayer.
I would say also B.
Actually?
It had some pretty big problems with it.
I think there was nothing like depending on the BM
The
hunter
worm boss
for that whole run.
Fuck,
So
the worm
Heather
boss
was just vibing.
The worm
Yeah.
boss
There was
sucked.
no
Yeah.
pressure at all.
Worm boss sucked.
Oh,
Pelter
no.
sucked.
Pelters, yeah.
Oh, the pelters.
were-
Yo, just Dom mine the pelter.
And then that
You don't
that
have a
fucking
priest?
trash you just had to skip because it was like
Last
impossible to
boss.
do.
The spitters, or what was the official name? Are they lurkers, or what?
They
what
might
were the
be
ones that
lurkers.
Oh,
the
the
maggots?
ones
If
that
if you didn't stun them, they would.
They
Oh,
just
they
just
transform
metamorphose.
into
Oh,
like
yeah.
a fucking raid boss, and they suck you in
Yeah.
with a green beam.
The only thing I didn't like about that was some CC didn't work on them for like no reason.
Yeah,
Which
Psychic
had to be,
Scream
a hard
didn't
hard
work.
stop,
sense.
right? Had to be a
I
hard
think-
stop.
Yeah, my Typhoon
think-
wouldn't work. Maybe I'm wrong. It had to be a very specific like. I think you could
Yeah.
in-cap roar it, but not Typhoon it. Maybe.
No, you couldn't psychic screen them. Or...
Yeah,
Fears didn't work. It was
it's like
felt
anytime
bad
that
when it
thing
went off.
transformed, you're dying,
It
but
was a wipe.
you're also typing to your party ? Like as you're getting sucked into the thing.
We're dying because
You're like,
everyone's
hello?
trying to flame the one person with
Yeah.
the power. Yeah.
Like one Hodge.
I feel attacked.
And then everyone would start running out of the room,
The
trying to
paladin.
line of sight them. And...
Yeah.
There was some cool
Everything.
stuff. Like the first pull was really fun.
Oh,
That's
Oh, yeah,
true. Oh
first
my
pull
god,
was-
banger first pull.
as far as
That
I'm
was
concerned,
Absolutely.
Really fun,
that's up
That
there.
was an
I
AoE
thought
drain.
the last pull was. I mean, the last boss was really fun too. There was a lot of cool shit you do with like just cooldown timings and like when to lust. And
No,
That's
I didn't like
true.
the last boss in there.
I
as
have.
much.
Do you remember the
It's
clip
another,
of
it's another
Warriors.
ad. It's another ad fight. Like if you're not killing
Yeah.
that shit like fast, you're not hitting the boss.
Oh,
And the guys
and
True.
the
hitting the
positioning
blast.
wasn't good. Like, and you had
Yeah.
Totem boss?
Oh,
You had to
that's
rely
why
on
on
the wrong
fucking
hunter
range
makes that
and
See,
boss
I think that was a
impossible.
cool fight. Like, not every boss can just be free, right? Like, there's some that's.
Yeah, I
some
agree. It
mechanics
was a
that
cool
should be
fight,
hard, and I think
for
it was
sure.
cool.
and it was very scripted. I think for the most part, like you can kind of
And
plan out
I like
everything.
that it was all within your control to do. Whereas
Mhm.
stuff like the worm boss, like just getting pelted 5 times with rocks as you're getting like the poison overlap is just
Yeah, that
you
worm
know,
boss.
like
was
there's
fun.
nothing you can do if you get bad RNG. But
It was
Oh, yeah,
even
the
worse
worm was
before
rough.
like
too, right? Like it was even worse before. Like they nerfed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for you guys that don't know, that's my Discord picture now is Draz's drawing.
Is that?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
That's what that
Draz's
is?
drawing,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
That's what
God.
it is. Yeah. I thought it was so funny, and I was like, that's my new profile picture.
I have a clip of the last boss. So there was this one overlap where like the safe zone spawns as the thing that's gonna kill you comes out, and Heather just goes, "I guess we just die," and it's one of my favorite clips ever. Because the like as she says it, the thing spawns, and then I'm like, Heather's just never got this
Yeah.
far on this boss. It was one of my favorite clips. I don't know where to put
guess
this.
we
It's
just die.
above halls.
It's
I
A.
put it, like, in a-
It's A. Heather is
Come on.
disqualified.
Oh,
I
no.
loved
Ain't no
it.
way it's
I
A,
loved
man.
It. It was so
I'd put
fun.
it above fall in B, like a B plus.
Above fall and B.
So an
Ooh,
A.
I was gonna
basically.
say
So
like
basically an A.
right above throne.
right above
What?
No,
throne.
it's
Oh, no.
definitely better than Darkheart and Neltharis.
Yeah, I
I
think it's better than
think
Fall.
We might have to move Rise later.
I
Neltharis and
Rise is a good
Nelthslayer
dungeon. Yeah.
might be worse than Rise.
To me, Rise is more fun than Darkheart, even though it's harder. I think it's a better dungeon, more fun than Darkheart.
I'm gonna put it here for now. We
Darkheart's
could
just
debate
not
at the
fun.
end.
Like, there's no fun boss.
Yeah, Darkheart. I don't really
There's no
feel any
fun trash in
kind
there.
of
Can we move that? That's throwing off everything else.
what.
Darkheart
Darkheart.
Thicket.
Where do you want it?
I
In C?
don't like that place. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing about that place that
What
I
about
enjoy.
the first spot in C?
Difference,
That means it's like
yeah.
high C.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Wait, but the more I see Darkheart next to something, I'm like, I think it's worse than Throne. This is not looking good for Darkheart.
No, wait, where-
Through the whole
video,
time.
Alright,
it's
alright, hold
She's
empty.
on.
Let's
I
go-
like-
like Throne.
I like
Throne has a
that,
lot of problems too, right?
I like Throne more than
Mhm.
Darkheart. I just like the 2 minutes in there. Like you just blast, man. Untapped
Dude.
target.
Yeah, playing 2-minute Shadow Priest and Throne is like pretty juiced.
Mm.
It's a good
Play-
feeling.
play
There's
a
always a
tank
prio target
in
for devouring
Darkheart, I mean,
plague.
in Throne, and then get back to me.
Yo, I
See, I'm
have. I
trying-
mean, not on the high
Yeah,
key,
yeah.
but
Throne
That's
is
pretty
very fun,
good.
but I don't know when the last time I ran it without a VDH was.
just wait till your VDH
Which
is
I think
geared.
is
You're gonna
good.
love that key. It's nice. Anyway, we'll reevaluate at the end.
Okay.
Ruby life pools. Any thoughts right off the
Banger.
bat?
I
Banger?
like
loved
that.
Ruby
I like
That
it.
place
Yeah.
was
I didn't like it.
awesome.
Who
didn't
are you
like it at all.
people?
Bosses were
It was
very
horrible.
difficult.
I thought it sucked.
How'd you get this
It was
They are
number?
rough
hard,
to
but
start,
I'm
but
gonna,
I think-
it's to me it's the same thing as like what we were just talking about with Nelslayer with the last boss. Like they were definitely tough bosses, but everything was in your control. Like there was no shitty RNG that just fucked your key over. Like,
No, people
it was
thought it
all
was
on you.
RNG on the last boss, and then you find out that the wind directions are the same every time, and then once
Yeah.
you figure out that it like
Once you
puts some
import the
noise in that-
Chinese weak aura. Does
Wait,
anyone
what?
have that
That.
one? I swear I had
don't
like a
think I had
Chinese
that.
weak aura that would like it would tell me which direction it was going.
No, oh
I
yeah.
might be
yeah.
making this up.
I had that
Right.
through my UI pack with now.
Oh really? Okay,
yeah,
so it is
it's
real.
really nice Ikora.
Yeah. I don't.
know, that
Ruby was like hard, but I think it's something kind of like Knockhood where it's like a challenge to overcome. It's not really like I don't know.
'cause
It's just
not-
hard.
It's not RNG. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
hard.
whenever
I
it was
died,
it's
challenging,
'cause
but
I
for
did
the right
something
reasons. Right.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
I
it's-
think that's good dungeon design and fight design.
But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a 30-minute 3 boss. You put your foot to the gas the whole way through, and you feel like you're gonna die the whole time.
I tell people
In
all
my-
the time.
I think it is.
Mhm.
I
I
think
did.
that's like
I
the
don't remember
ideal
what key
dungeon.
level it was. I think it was like a 24, 25 fortified, which was actually harder. I feel like on a higher key, fortified Ruby life pools, where I healed on my shaman, and I think I finished the run at like 115k HPS overall, just like constantly AoE healing the whole run. Which even now in this season, it's rare that I hit numbers that high. Two
Yeah, that's
seasons
actually
later.
kind of crazy.
It was a big healer key. I feel like in my heart I hate this key, but I can't. The more I think about it, I'm like, this key might be good. Also, the first pull was so lit. You could pull like that whole thing. You just had to stop the. I forget what it was. There's something you had to stop, and that's it.
There was like a tectonic slam or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Big AoE.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was challenging, but it was all like someone said, like if you died, it's because you fucked up. It's nothing out of your
Mhm.
control.
I
I'm-
agree. I really liked it.
I think
This
you
can
guys
go
are
above
fucking
Nelthslayer for sure.
nuts.
Like-
Shut
I
up.
would
I
would
could
put it
do
in
that,
there.
Heather's
I know,
leaving.
I was thinking A
Do it.
too. Not gonna lie.
A tier.
Mm-mm.
I was thinking.
I would I
I liked it more
personally
than
liked
Halls.
Ruby even more than Algathar.
I was gonna say
Holy.
Ruby is my S for the season for the.
I kind of agree.
But-
Not gonna lie. I think Ruby was my favorite in
I
season
love
one.
Oh my
no.
She's
god.
gone.
Heather's pissed.
Holy.
God.
Oh, did she leave?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
gone.
Oh my god,
She
Heather
wasn't
left the
taking
call.
that anymore.
No way.
God damn it.
Okay. Oh, she's
Fuck.
back.
You guys don't know what to think. Tell you what.
I don't know.
What
I don't know
the-
where this belongs. I don't know where this belongs. Does Nelthler
My
belong
vote's
higher
S.
then? Okay, S is not happening.
What?
Never
but I'm
happened.
taking this into account.
If you're
it's
It
A,
putting
can't-
it,
then
I
it's,
think
it's the
if
first
you're-
one in A.
if
I
A
you're
think
is like a
putting it in
stretch.
A,
Valor for
then
sure.
you gotta move layer up or something. Like that's ridiculous.
Okay, we can
goddamn
move.
ridiculous.
All right.
I'll take it.
Ty says S. Zath, what was yours again?
I think is at least better than Halls of Valor. I don't know
Okay.
about Azervault, but
Heather hates this one or just loves Nelthler? I'm confused.
Both.
It's a C. It's a C for me. The Ruby.
C,
I've
okay.
had so many bad experiences. Everyone would say like, oh, it's a free key, and like that'd be like one of their higher time keys. Not my group ever. I don't know what
Dude.
it was, but
I can't wait to run a Ruby with you guys next season. this exact group.
maybe
Wipe
maybe
out the
I'll,
first boss. Is how
maybe
like,
I'll
the-
like
this
it
shit.
more. Maybe I'll like it more, but
Hmm.
I just felt helpless in there again. It's another one that I would just kind of
And
die, and
then-
people would always pull that big ass dragon that you'd always try to skip.
Oh, the two
Someone would
Oh.
always pull the
But
dragon.
again, that's also like if you fucked up, it was your fault, right? It's
But
not
it was like
BNP.
nearly
bad on
every
Ruby.
It wasn't your
time.
fault.
Yo, what's up, Timmy?
Yeah.
or
It's my
someone's
fault,
fault.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
And Mac,
I
where
would
do you
never pull.
feel Ruby goes?
I just have healing nightmares from that place. At least on Tyrannical, those bosses were not easy.
Those bosses did take a bunch of tuning hits.
Okay,
too,
I don't-
which-
agree with this, but Zath and Ty feel very strongly about this key, so I'm willing to put it like A, low A,
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Can
I
we
was gonna
put
say
it-
I don't-
B.
Fun.
high B.
No.
I'm trying to
I
get
like
a middle ground of everyone
I
in the
think
call.
the last one in A is fair.
I would have
gotta be
voted
at
S
least
if that
that.
matters, but
S or
think-
F?
We
I
got
think
3
don't be.
votes for S.
S. But
Don't be
I think-
S.
Dude, I love this place.
What the fuck is this?
Ruby was a great key.
Oh my god.
Yo.
I think it
I like.
was-
I feel like you're wrong,
Yo.
but I can't explain why. It might be a
It-
great key.
That's okay. We can disagree. We can settle for A. That is okay.
okay. We'll
I
do
think
low
some
A.
people are traumatized because pugs sucked at Ruby. But
It
if you
was
knew
very much in the
great
hands
group-
of like your pug healer and your tank
True.
and like people pressing stuff. I don't know. I will say though, I do have like good memories of the first boss like healing it and getting fucking owned
Good-
and then being like,
good
all right, hold on.
memory.
Well, no, the good memory is
The
I remember
awful memory.
focusing up and being like, all right, I'm
Oh,
going to
no.
flourish this. I'm going to do this here. I need this
Mhm.
there, like calling stuff out and then being like narrowly making it through the boss.
Yeah, you were growing
then-
into it.
Yeah.
I have
It was
some
like
good
something to
memories of
overcome.
Getting complimented on my healing for the
Right.
that dungeon.
It is a good compliment farm for healers.
Hmm.
All right, we'll keep Ruby there for now. Simp, I'm surprised Simp is even still here. This is like
He's-
upside
he's still like-
down.
I disagreed with that.
Simp lives to be disagreeing with stuff though, so this is actually a good day. All right.
Can we all agree
Uh,
Underrot is S tier?
I think so.
A what? A tall?
Underrot.
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 Well, Underrot? Yeah, Underrot was so much fun.
I
For
was
me,
very
Underrot's
excited for it to
number
come
1.
back. And I definitely
Place was
liked it.
boring.
I think
I think it
because
was
I
a
ran
little
it
bit
too
boring.
much. Like I think because it was so
a
it was like
reroll
good,
game.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a reroll key.
but that doesn't mean it's a
It
bad
was
dungeon.
it was
I
too
think it
easy,
might be
but it was
S.
still a good dungeon. I feel like you still had to play well, right? You could definitely fuck up an Underrot.
that's true. That's true.
You could.
I've seen people who are like have been number 1 in their spec do stupid shit and die in Underrot. So
Hmm.
it's like it's not completely free, even though it was a little undertuned for the season.
Okay. I think that's an easy low S tier, mid S. I like it a lot. I don't know what my complaint is really. I think I just ran it too much and it was like kind of a little too free, but I think as a dungeon like it's really good.
I agree. I think it was the reroll.
It
key,
could have
so
been
everyone was
harder.
like farming the fuck out of it, right?
Mhm.
And you
It had
just
a
got
lot of
little
cool
bored with it.
like it had a lot of cool like counter like the first boss like calling kicks was cool. Like Zephyring and rescuing on the Krog boss was really fun. I like bosses like the mushroom boss where you can kind of like the tank's clearing some of them and then all right I'm gonna turtle and run through 10 of them or I'm gonna take 2, dispel myself, take 2, dispel myself. Like everyone can kind of play a
Yeah.
role in it.
Yeah, that's like
It's-
what I was
it's kinda
saying
cool.
in,
But it's not scripted.
Falls with like
some
if
of
you
it's on
had
the fly.
depending on your comp, you could come up with different ways to deal with the mechanics. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a good key. Yeah, I'm happy with it there. I feel like the partner of Underodd is a tall Dazar.
Yeah, that's
Which-
its buddy.
How do we feel about a tall?
I like it a lot.
The thing I don't like about it all is it's like borderline free up until the last boss, and then the last boss is like a hard check. So, like,
Yeah,
feels bad
Yeah,
putting all that
the
time in a
change to
prod
ranking
key to
pain
just
really
die.
like
Very strange.
it's sort of like the whole
yeah.
thing is just a warm up to the last boss, and then you either like
yeah, it's
2
a-
chest the key or
also
you
the
die.
trash. The trash in the beginning also like it could be easy for you just to get farmed and
If you
That's
go
key.
left and fuck up the
Yeah.
totems, yeah.
yeah.
But
And then like everyone's death is staggered.
Yeah,
And it just
I
ends up
think you
being,
should still be allowed to kick the boss on the last boss. It used
I
to be.
Yeah.
agree.
I don't know why they changed that.
I think they felt like the dungeon was too easy. Like
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
think was correct,
Yeah.
but I think that boss was already like kind of hard.
It was already the hardest part
Because
of
of
the
the
dungeon.
spiders,
didn't
it was so
need
easy
the
to
buff.
troll.
They needed to buff the rest of it. Yeah,
They could
for
have
other parts of it.
they could have added like a dot to Razan, and the dungeon would actually be perfect. Because like there's nothing
Yeah,
going on
Literally,
Razan
you
anyway.
don't need a healer for
Priestess
Razan.
is
You
Priestess
don't
is
need a
Yeah.
healer for Razan. Like you can just
Mhm.
do that without, and that's silly. They,
Yeah.
they should do something too
Priestess
instead of just
kinda-
stand there and
I
look
would
dumb.
put a
Motion kinda
tall
hurts.
in low A or high B because I think it's kind of boring, honestly. Like
I
there's
agree.
some
just
some
gonna say
parts of it that
A.
are fun. Like tanking the last boss to me is
Ain't
actually
no
fun.
way it's better than Ruby Life Pools.
Yeah.
Yo.
I think Atal's
Ain't no
yeah,
way.
yeah, hell yeah. No, that's my
no
compromise.
way.
No.
No, I
That's
think it's
my
I think it's better
compromise.
than Ruby.
For you guys put am I just here for cosmetic reasons, dude? Like the Life is dog shit dungeon,
Get it.
dude. Like, yo.
I will say I'm already kind of stretching it putting Ruby in A. And when I was going into
Thank
this
you.
video,
Like,
Ruby was
I
gonna
think
go
Ruby
in
should be
F,
B.
and then I couldn't defend my
Thank you.
B
position.
was my
I just Atal to me, there's like no fun part of it other than like I said, tanking the last boss to me is actually fun. But the rest of it's
Yeah.
just like there's no fun pulls. It's just kind of boring the whole time. You're just like, okay, well I hope we don't fuck up this kick because then we're just gonna be dead. And then
is true. I
you
don't
get
know-
through the whole dungeon and then it's like you're done in 20 minutes. But then if you fuck up one thing, you just chain wipe and it's like
I don't know why I love it all.
I kinda
The same
don't
reason I
like
don't know
it,
why
not
I
gonna
hate
lie.
Ruby. What was it, Zath?
I kinda don't like it, not gonna lie.
Hmm. Okay.
I think it is a good, solid dungeon. I don't think they're. I would put it like bottom of A, top of B. I think the last
it
boss
better-
was the
is
most
it
fun
better
part
than
of it,
Fall?
but when
Yeah.
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 it
Which
is.
one,
I'd say
sorry?
that. I agree.
Is a tall Dazar better than Galakron's Fall?
Mm,
yes.
I
would
think
say
it is.
yeah.
I think it is.
yeah, I'd agree.
And it's not as good.
For sure better than Ruby. That's for fucking sure.
Ain't no way.
I
It's
actually
not as
think-
good
I
as
think
Azure Vault.
Fall's boss fights are a lot more fun and interesting than Atal Desire.
Yeah.
I think the boss fights in Atal, like Yasma's the only challenge, and it's way too fucking hard. Like Solren just one shots you in high enough key, right? Which is not
Exactly.
Yep.
like it's not really fun. Like, oh, can we rotate defensives to not get one shot? That's the whole fight, and not run over spiders.
I thought you liked
And then the
doing
rest of the
that for me.
bosses. It's very stressful.
All right, let's leave a
Very
pin
healing.
in a tall. Let's get these last 4 on the board, and then we can kind of tweak.
All right.
Because I've had you guys here for a while. I don't want to take up your whole night. So let's go to, and if anyone like has to go, like no worries. But also we're like almost done. But I thought I didn't think it would
No,
take this long, so
don't.
I don't want you to be like,
I mean,
Feeling
there's
like
a
you're
lot of
held hostage.
dungeons.
yeah. All right, Black or Cold.
I think it's another one that's kind of sort of boring. Maybe that's just because I ran it so many times. I can agree with like
I feel that's another like reroll key.
I think it
Okay,
is.
Path
It's mostly
Rock
free,
did it.
but I think it's still fun. Like, you have to. All the trash is like you got to pay attention, right?
That's
Rotate
true.
your
That's true.
CCs. The first boss, obviously, is
The
boring,
D tier. I could
but,
add a D tier
like,
after.
second boss, you gotta use defensives, and it's tough for the healer.
Not as a
Kinda boring
melee.
for everyone else.
I don't
but-
think they should have the rocks on the stairs. I think they should take them off.
That's why I
That's
chose the
the
rock
way
as
to
the
die.
Oh, but you
icon.
like the gauntlet or the thing in Rise running
Wait,
through
wait, wait.
that.
Question of the
Yeah,
year.
that's fun
Does
as
the
hell.
rock go through turtle?
You can see it. You can
It
see
stuns
it.
you, but
Yeah,
it doesn't
does.
do damage.
No.
It
So you
stuns and
get
then you
stunned.
die.
You get stunned,
Okay.
and then the second one that gets you because you're fucking stunned there, you die.
We've identified the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's.
I think
I
Blackrock
don't
to
know.
me is like the inverse of Fall, where like Fall has really fun bosses and shitty trash, and Blackrock has good trash and shitty bosses.
Just give the rocks a pattern. Make them go back
Yeah,
and forth
I
or
think-
something.
Last boss in Blackrock on Tyrannical is also is very difficult to heal.
It does have
true,
some
the
good
first phase
pulls.
is pretty rough.
Like the volleys and that rod
Oh,
damage
yeah.
is.
That part's like almost kind of out of your hands as a healer, because it's
And
sort
then
of
the
like that
swarms,
first volley.
like-
It's like, all right, do we have bubble sack, turtle, like every defensive in the game? All right, someone's getting leafed. It's kind of like if people get one shot, it's kind of on them. But I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I
and, like,
think
if
it's
you didn't have
good. I
an
just don't think
external
it
for,
always
like, the
feels good.
swarms. Like those
Because of-
swarms.
Oh,
are
yeah, those
just
swarms
lethal
suck.
too.
What's up,
I don't know if
Adriana?
they need to like
They
stun you
fuck.
every other second.
Yeah.
It's goofy if you're not melee. But I
I'm
think- I think
thinking
Blackrock
above
Gold is good.
Nelthrus.
I think just above Nelt's lair is
Oh.
perfect.
Yeah. I agree
You
with that.
just hate.
Heather's gonna lose it. All right, hold on.
I'm kidding.
Dude,
I'm gonna
why
put
is
it below
significantly better than
just for Heather.
Rivals?
Heather needs to. She gets one. I feel strongly about
There
this
ain't
for
no
sure.
way
I
Brackenhide
feel
and
so
Not
strong. I
Good
loved
are
it.
better than Black.
I thought it was so much fun.
But they're
You know.
actually like fun, whereas Blackrock Gold is just boring.
Again,
Purple.
maybe that's like the rerun key kind of vibe, but I don't like those rocks. I literally can't do them. I just won't anymore. I just stand and wait at the bottom and hold my cheetah.
Anybody who goes up and stops the rock,
It's like S
A true
tier. They should
hero.
be the fucking S
they're
tier.
the
Yeah.
hero. They're the key
Yeah, yeah.
hero.
Send them the gold in the mail. All right, Blackrock will stay there for now. Freehold.
I feel like all of Heather's strongest takes are about the mini games in dungeons.
That's
Like,
true.
Rise-
Wait a minute.
Rise and Blackrock.
She doesn't even care. She's just here to play mini games.
Freehold? We can all say S, right? For Freehold?
I don't know why, but I didn't like Freehold.
I didn't like it either, honestly.
What?
Oh. Yo, Zath and Ty are in cahoots, man.
I think
In cahoots.
it was
I
not as
think
fun
I
as
think the popular opinion is like I just want to blast big AoE numbers,
yeah.
and Freehold was
Mhm.
definitely that.
But
key.
you could, with the pulls in there, if like you had the right brave tank, you could
then
do
It
the,
was
that.
fucking hard as a tank.
It
Well,
was,
that's
yeah.
not a me
What
problem,
was,
is
what, was,
it?
what do they call the tech? What do they call the tech
The post.
for? The
Oh yeah,
post
the
tech.
post tech. When you go up
Oh
on the
yeah,
post, they
the
pull, like,
stripper
half the
pole.
dungeon.
The
Yeah.
stripper pole.
I call it the stripper pole pull.
Yeah, that place kind of sucked to run as melee DPS.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah. I felt like
There's
Tex
a lot
didn't
of-
really like that pull or that giant pull either.
no.
Hmm.
Too many times
least
when
when
the
I-
solution is
having-
just don't be in melee. I don't think
Having to
that's-
have freedom for second boss for the barrel is dog shit.
That is
Oh,
a
yep.
negative, yeah.
Another
For
one of those
sure.
dungeons where you
Because
need,
that's
like,
not a
Did a
that's not
paladin.
that's not
I
a
had a
You should
luxury.
have a
for it,
hunter
So,
or a,
yeah, I have a pet for
a
it, so I don't
monk.
care. Narnar
Like
didn't
Heather.
know that actually. Did you guys
Bring a-
know that? That Narnar didn't actually know that the hunter pet could freedom. I tried to
The
tell him. But he
origin
said,
of
no,
this
Heather, don't
meme.
try it. Don't try
The
it. You're just wasting time. You're just wasting time swapping your pet. Just keep your last
Holy.
pet out. That's all I care about. That's what he said to me. Isn't that awful?
Unreal.
Also,
That's it. I'm calling Max.
Ring of Kidney, like stepping over the invisible line.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
you
that
just
was
get one
dog
shot
shit,
by rotten
dude.
food.
And then the
Oh,
fact
on
that
the-
in
yeah.
bugs that were stupid, they would release and then run back and then die and die and die and
Yeah.
die, and they couldn't figure
Yeah.
out why they were dying.
That was funny. True.
That was awesome.
Hmm.
I feel like it's.
It's got to be above fall. Yeah. If we're putting Ruby in A,
I
I gotta put
think-
Freehold in A too.
I
Yeah.
think Freehold's below
Okay.
A. It's not terrible. There were just some really.
If you
I
put Freehold
don't think it
behind
was
Ruby,
S.
that's right.
I think Freehold
good
is
dungeon.
above Its Hall, below Halls
I agree.
of Valor.
I can
I
agree
agree.
with that. Yeah.
I would put Ruby
Okay.
higher, but I agree with Freehold being there.
Cool. Okay. Cool. All right, 2 more. So let's do Quarter Stars.
I think that was a
Boo.
bad dungeon. Anything because it's like RNG, the buffs. I think it's bad.
Oh, true. I don't have
don't know.
strong memories of this place at all.
And
This is
also-
super mid.
It was also boring, very boring. I found.
There's like one or two fun boss fights as a DPS
It's like-
and as a healer. Like
It was
Yeah.
the Where's Waldo mini game. That's
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that was
God, yeah.
fun.
before the last boss.
I'm thinking below Shadow Moon, above Halls of Infusion.
I could.
That was only
I mean,
Court
I
was only
kind of
3
think
bosses
Halls
too,
was
right?
better.
Really? It honestly might be. I don't remember Court very well. I remember the last boss. One time we God, it was like
I
week
felt
1 or
like Court
2.
was fairly straightforward too. Like, I don't remember
Yeah.
there being
It
like many
was-
routes that deviated from one another.
It
No, I
was a
don't think
semi
so.
reroll key.
Oh, Simp is
Yeah.
livid,
It
Captain.
was like that in Shadow Moon, were the 2 easy keys.
On like week 1 or 2, we were like progging this dungeon for like an hour, and our hunter fell asleep at his keyboard, and then we all zoned out and 4 tanked the last boss so that we could complete it for the vault. And I feel like that's the only dungeon I've ever had that experience in. I was like,
I don't know how to describe
Below
how I feel
halls?
about this place. Like the idea of
I
having
think
randomly
that's
spawning
second
lieutenant
spot.
mobs that you have to kill and like
Mhm.
you can't necessarily have a set route for is good in theory, but
I never felt like that was a huge issue though.
I don't think it was
I
a
don't
huge
think
issue.
that
I
was
just
the
don't.
issue
It never
either.
felt
I
like it
think it was-
changed the way you played the dungeon. It still felt like the same dungeon every time.
I
you
think
ran it.
the RNG on the buffs you got, and the fact that you needed specific specialization or not specializations, professions.
Yeah, that was a weird thing to keep, but I kind of get that the profession
No.
rework at the beginning of season 1.
I'd be
They
okay with
wouldn't
the
really throw it in,
professions
but
if
I
they were
didn't
just
like
like
it. I don't
set.
do professions, so I hate it.
I would say, okay, if Blackrook is like the season 3 equivalent of Shadow Moon, like kind of boring, reroll key, the bosses get really tough later on, then Court of Stars is kind of like Fall. It's like another semi-free dungeon, but the bosses are really hard. And
Yeah,
it's kind of
I
boring,
agree.
but also not terrible. So I would put it like next to Fall.
I'm like reevaluating the
And
order.
it's
of all
almost
these
like the
dungeons.
same reasons, right? Like Court and Fall both have, like we're saying, kind of shitty trash. Bosses were okay, but not super bad. It was just like they scaled out of control in hierarchies.
Okay, Simp hard agrees with you, and he's been antagonized for the last hour, so we're gonna put it right where you guys are saying. I'll accept that. I don't know where this I don't feel any. I don't know. Is anyone
Glad
like
there's
strong
something
object to this?
separating. I'm glad there's
I mean,
something
that's
separating Rise
could
and
be
Fall now.
in B. Then.
Yeah.
True.
It's like right in the
I
middle.
don't think they should be next to each other.
They shouldn't be
Yeah.
touching Rise and Fall,
True,
right? Like,
No.
Yeah.
It's like magnets when you try to like put them the wrong way.
Yep.
Like, eh. All right, and then Waycrest, and then we can reevaluate. I was very excited for Waycrest to come back, and I don't know that I really like this key that much anymore, but I kind of
Yeah,
do.
I loved it in
I also
BFA.
agree with that.
The tree
but
boss,
it's
man.
not- Yeah.
Tree
The-
boss
Tree
is so
boss are under-
cringe.
Tree boss, I mean, I think I said it 100 times, but the thorns should say who they're targeting each time.
Oh
And
yeah,
also, like, you shouldn't
Mm.
chain get thorns.
The
Yeah.
sisters is kind of rough.
it should
boss,
it
too.
should like rotate and show the target, so you could like
I like it
pre-sack or
too.
pre-bubble or turtle it or
'Cause,
whatever. Like
Like, it should work just how Racking Pain does. Like,
yeah,
Also-
you know
how do
who's going to cast it on. It's not the same person every time.
it's
How do you guys
about as
feel about
dangerous
that?
or worse than Racking Pain. Sorry, Zath. What was that?
the RNG witch spawns.
That
I
too.
think
yeah.
Well, they
they
took out,
changed
right?
that eventually, right?
No,
Like
yeah.
very
still-
very
they're still-
late.
Oh, maybe.
I want to say it's
very
like in the
late,
last
though.
month or two, but I
Yeah,
could
I
be
They
wrong.
definitely
changed it,
remember
like,
witches
maybe
being in different
3 weeks
spots
ago.
recently.
They were RNG for
They
sure
were, yeah. They
originally.
changed it though.
Like this season originally they were, but they changed it like at some point, I think. But yeah, the thorns, so like they actually changed the thorns to make them worse. Like you used to be able to pre-cat form it on a druid or bear form
shift
and you would
that,
be immune
yeah.
to it, and then you could
But that's
shift that,
only
which
for
is
druids,
like
right?
right, but like they should have turned it the other way where it's like it should be freedomable. Maybe not freedomable, but like it should have more clearly targeted and more counters rather than just like every group you see Waycrest plus 27 need mage. Like, because it's like if you're
Yeah.
if you're pugging, like why would you not bring a mage? You know, it's just
I think
weird
that's a
that
good
one
idea in
class can get
theory,
out of
but
it.
you would need so many counters to it that like I think at the end of the day you'd be fixed into certain comps.
Yeah,
Or
or
like
just
you would
not
just
CC them
you'd be
while
able
they're
to make
rooted.
maybe a little more diverse groups, but it would still be really hard for anyone who doesn't have one of those
Yo, not the AUG
counters to
hate.
get into groups for it.
What's up, Zumba?
I think the real fix is just to like tune it down.
Mm-hmm.
Because in BFA, I don't remember those ever really being an issue. The hard part of that boss is like how many stacks could your tank take?
True. Yeah, actually, I don't remember the thorns like
the fire, I think
mattering
the
that
fire
much.
was a lot more dangerous, and you were trying to like clear stacks as little as possible, but the thorns were really an issue.
Yeah, I think
in this
otherwise
season,
it's like a cool boss because you're kind of trading. You're like, all right, there's pressure on the tank, and then we're gonna clear it, and you could either have like a giant, because it's like the more stacks, the more damage it does, right? When you clear it, so you're kind of like, do we have giant burst heals or do we want it more often? I don't like. It's kind of a cool concept, and then the thorns just ruin it.
The healer has to switch between single target and AoE, and like which cooldowns you dedicate to what, or like different personals. You want to use them on thorns, you want to use them on the AoE clear. I think it's a cool fight in theory, but it's just overtuned.
Feels very bad in practice.
Yeah.
I don't know. This place is. I struggle to find or think of places in Waycrest that are a lot of fun to do.
I think it's still overall
I think it's
a good
like
dungeon though.
I think it's like a B.
I think
Wait, I
it's at
can't remove
least
it. Hold on, what the hell?
I think
Alright,
it's
well,
at
it's
least a
gotta
high
go
B.
somewhere. At least a high B. Yeah, I'm cool with that too. I think it.
Like I think
it has
it's
to
more
be
fun than a Taltazar, honestly.
Yeah.
Like a Taltazar is free,
I
but
agree.
it's boring.
I agree.
So either Waycrest has to be an A above a Tal, or a Tal has to be in B.
Has to
Taltazar
be.
is just boring to me. That's my opinion. I don't know, you guys can disagree.
No, I agree with that. I think well, Atal feels boring because you feel like you're doing a key that's like 3 lower than what it says on your screen until you get to the last last boss. And I think that disparity never feels very good.
It kind of
know,
all looks
Waycrest
like the
is-
same trash too in Atal. Like all the guys are like the same, or it's dinosaurs, or it's like the same guys all throughout the
That's
whole
true.
thing.
It's dinosaurs or like the juggernaut type dudes.
Yeah. Trolls, Mac. They're
Trolls,
trolls. But
And the giant colossus that channels is.
Oh no, this late in the game.
No.
Wait, this actually helps so much.
Okay, we've added a D tier.
This changes
now that there's
everything.
room.
Well,
We're
but
gonna
not
do
on
a
the
Dark
we're gonna do a
Halls,
speed
Shadowrun,
round.
I would say Dark Heart's
Throne go
B.
down.
Oh yeah,
Dark Heart's
Throne.
gotta go
No,
down.
Throne should be up in B, I think, but
I
I'm
think
happy
Throne
with
is
C and
chill
after
with
Throne.
C.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy where it is.
Halls can go D unless someone's
Halls Throne is
strongly.
worse than Dark.
I feel like Heather's opinion of Throne changed significantly after we timed to 28.
True. Now every time I go on her stream, she's like, "Oh my god, well we timed the 28. The 29's probably free."
Yeah, whatever.
Wait, I was like, I had to go to sleep, but I'm like, I have to watch this 29 Throne.
Oh
I
my
was rooting
god,
for
did you
you.
see it? Did you see what happened?
Oh, wait.
I think you got like owned by the first poll, and then everyone left.
You got
The
to go to
guy
sleep pretty
DH
early then.
The DH died like 3 times in a row.
He went through both his cheats, my guardian spirit, and then health
You
pot.
talking about the one
died.
from this week or
No.
the one from before?
I want to say it was a
Uh,
week
There was
ago
another
or 2
one that
weeks ago,
we-
maybe.
Yeah, that was the one. This rogue thought it was a great idea to shroud through the first hallway, and then Heather was the first one to open out of Shroud and got
Yeah.
all
Oh,
the
I think
fixed.
that was the one I saw.
Immediately. And then I couldn't last, and then they're all just getting trucked by everything. But yeah, I was the first one to get broken out of the stealth, and I should have camoed, but I didn't even think about it. I don't know why you try new tech in fucking high keys, like if you just run it normally. I don't know.
Dude, why does it go away when I do that? It's so annoying. Huh?
Dude, this is looking so
This
weird.
is hilarious.
Okay, there's a final row that I've added, just to, to space it out
Just
a
for
little bit more.
Temple.
Is there
I think Temple
anything
and maybe Everbloom,
that we
Turbo
totally
F.
hate?
Temple's Turbo.
Temple's the only one I would put in Turbo F.
Alderman and Temple.
I still think Ultimate.
I think Ultimate could stay F.
It was a hard dungeon for sure, but it had good fights, and there were parts of it that were fun.
I think
It just
the
needed
reason
tuning.
I don't feel as strongly about Temple is because I was a priest. I don't know.
True. Yeah,
Like,
you,
I think it was,
you
I
were
think
the
it was
priest that
epic,
you
but
had to get to do
like
the
everyone's
key.
saying it's like Turbo F. I don't know.
I mean, that was part of it, but even if you took that away, it was just not a fun dungeon. Like the first boss was boring as fuck. The second boss was boring as fuck. The third boss, like, a little more engaging, but still, like, you just either got one shot or you lived. Like, there was nothing else to it. And then the last boss was like you either had a dispel or you didn't. Like, there was nothing redeeming about Temple. So it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's
I
as
don't think we
bad.
have Turbo F. I think we just have F with those 4.
I think all right. Is this like kind of okay looking?
No.
We're gonna do one. What? Okay, so my next question. This will be like kind of the semifinal draft.
Darkheart and D.
Right. So
I would put Throne
yeah.
below Darkheart.
Really? I think
Yeah,
you'll
I
like
agree
it
with
after
that.
you play VDH a little bit more.
Well,
I think you'll start to like it.
It's not like I only tank it. In fact, I probably tanked it the least because I never try to tank it. If anything, I'm always walking in there as EPS or healer.
Okay. All right. So
I just think it's like it's linear. There's no route options. The trash is just like way overtuned. A lot of it's RNG.
I can't put Throne below Halls though.
Yeah, if the flame shock.
I just
Oh,
can't.
the flame shocks, they should give you a heads up of who's getting it.
If Throne
That
goes
should-
down,
that is-
then we
that
gotta
is
move
another boss, too. That
Halls.
should-
What if we
Good.
did this? Wait, hold on. What if we just did
Although
this?
now that I know that you can
Perfect.
LOS, if you can LOS the flame shock, now I don't mind that as much. It's not as scary for me.
Yeah, I guess then it would be like
I just
because
LOS
the
it now.
tank doesn't
and
get it, so
I
it'd be a
feel
1 in 3 chance versus 1 in 4.
Kind of just moving shit around.
good.
All right, let's go.
And now we just delete C and it's fixed.
I know. I'm not sure if anything changed.
Back where
No.
we
So what I was
started.
gonna do is like a
We just
speed
said
round. Is
Robert
like
I think Rise goes to C now.
yeah. Hold on. So Mac first. What's like not okay with you? Like what needs to be moved most?
Out of the whole list.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 that you're like, this is just wrong.
Definitely Ruby life pools.
Okay,
I don't
Needs to
think
be an
that's
S.
A.
Exactly.
that one is like strongly weighted by
So
2
the
other
first thing
people, so we can't
I
move
would
that.
move Rise to C.
Okay. Any objections?
I agree.
Anything else, Mac?
I would move Ruby life pools to like low B probably.
That has to
No.
stay.
I
I've
don't know.
already
Vetoed.
conceded the Ruby.
I don't know. Like those. I mean, I mostly only healed that on Priest too, and there's just a lot of movement too. I don't know. It just I didn't enjoy healing that, but I'm only speaking from a healing perspective.
Yeah, I hear you, but they feel so strongly about it, and I can't really think of anything that I hate. I got to keep Ruby there, but Rise definitely C. I'm afraid of what Heather's gonna say. What stands out?
think we know
Nelt
what's
Slayer
No,
has
no.
to go to
You
SS
you
plus.
you go ahead. You do Mac. You go through your
No,
people. I'll be
think-
here. I'll be waiting.
Oh shit!
I think
Heather's
Nels
waiting till the
Slayer
end
should
so no
be
one can
over
override her.
Heather's gonna fix it when we're all done.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I'm
All right,
not. I'm
all
not
right.
that crazy about it. There's just a couple I would change
Okay,
around.
we'll come back. We'll come back to you then. So Zath,
I think
any
Neltharius should
picks?
probably be C, just because I don't like.
Yeah. I
Like
agree.
Yeah,
Chains
I'm
was
down.
fun. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's bad dungeon design.
Like you
I
could
agree.
you basically just did all. What was it? Was it like over 50% of the
Simp.
trash you would do with chains or something?
Yeah. Remember at the start when you didn't get the debuff and you could just like chains.
And a
Oh
lot
my
of those
God.
bosses were just like buggy as hell and way
Yeah.
too overtuned until they finally fixed it at the end, but then it like still kind of sucked.
I also
Mhm.
kind of think Elgathar shouldn't be an S because of the Craig Maw bug where it'd be like just doesn't spawn and then your key's just bricked.
Oh, the
But
Croth.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay with it being
Yeah.
at S, but I don't think it should be because of the
I
game
agree with
breaking
that.
bug.
I was not a huge fan of Algathar. I know people love the first pull.
I
because it's,
love
like, Bad
Algathar.
City.
I think
liked
it's like
it, but the
almost a
bug
perfect
shouldn't
dungeon,
be.
but there's a few things. But of the ones that need changing, I think it's pretty solid. Also, there was that thing
I'm
where
not-
you
yeah, I
could
wouldn't
like
put it in,
dominate
like,
mind.
in-
You can mind control the thing and give buffs to people from the pull upstairs.
Oh, the
know if you guys know about
dragon
that.
dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, you could
You're
like
right.
give people a 50% haste buff, and as long as the shield doesn't get broken, they're just like pumping. But it only goes on casters. It's spell haste. I don't know. It's I like cool shit like that.
What the hell? Only on casters.
Yeah.
What is
Uh,
this?
No, I think Tech
Okay.
that's cool.
Dumpy, what's your pick?
No good is like 2 tiers too high, in my
Holy.
opinion. But
Yeah.
but I also know that that's another one people have strong opinions on. I don't know. That
I
place
mean, I
always
didn't
felt
love
long.
Nokud. I just think I thought it was a solid dungeon. I didn't think it was like amazing.
Do we like
How
No
about
Code more
B?
than
Can we-
Freehold?
Can we compromise to B?
Yeah.
I can't put it below Ruby. My only thing.
But you can though.
What?
I know, I literally can. I have the mouse right here.
You have the power.
Dude, Ruby being on A is just bothering me.
Ruby,
That is,
I know.
That is wild.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying to be
agree. It
nice.
should be an S.
I'm trying to be
Well,
nice
I
to
should
Ty
be
here.
an
He's a
S.
new friend.
Now that really bothers
Now it's
Why
all
would B
uneven.
Below.
But you can't
Everything in
just
B
rate
also
Ruby
bothers me.
badly because it was hard to heal though.
Yeah.
I know that's why I can't
I
really
know.
like defend lowering it because it was just challenging.
Because I mean, if Ruby's too high for that
Mostly.
reason, then Algathar should be.
Wait,
high
hold
for
on.
that
There was
reason,
that
because
one
Algathar is also
unpaved
fucking hard
road.
to heal.
The unpaved road upstairs where that boulder would just insta wipe your key. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, second boss, she'd send the boulder
The
out.
pebble.
Instead of
Just get
exploding
fucking
down the
owned.
wall, it would just hit the ground and detonate.
And then someone would
That was
immediately
pretty
be like,
cool.
how do you not know not to stand near that invisible pebble that breaks the key? And you're like, what?
Question mark?
Yeah. All right.
Sure.
Okay. Now we're back to Heather.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello. All right. What's your
Okay.
take here? How high is Nelthslayer going?
I would say Nell Slayer would be a high A for me, probably like middle high A. I thought it was very fun. I like once the bosses were tuned. Before the bosses were tuned, it was like I did not want to go in there. But then once I was able to go in there, it easily became like one of my favorite dungeons of that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to check something real quick, which is, were the pelters on Neuraxis physical damage?
They hurt
I think so.
me a lot.
I think
Okay,
they
so
were.
imagine wearing cloth or leather and taking like 30% more damage from this.
That sounds
Would you
like a
still-
them problem,
would you
not a
still
me
love-
problem.
Mac is
We're
right
talking
here.
about my personal
Yeah.
life. We're talking about Mac
Hello?
never got it because I got pelted like 50
Mac is our
times
priest.
in a
Plenty
row.
of time.
Oh fuck. I
Also, it's the healer that could not dispel poison.
Mm,
They are. I've confirmed hurling rocks is physical damage.
mm.
Well, although if
So
I played
Heather's,
paladin, it
Heather's
wasn't
taken a
bad,
lot
but
less. There you go.
priest on that boss was horrible.
Comes down to armor.
What? No, what?
I can-
Yeah, that's why I enjoyed the dungeon because I had armor. Like, no,
That-
no, it was just a
that
fun
boss
dungeon.
was just like painfully difficult
I
for
don't know how
everyone.
high.
I feel like.
For me, it would have to be above Ruby for me to even be happy with what's going on here.
I
But
know,
I
I'm trying to
understand
think.
that everybody is
I actually,
we're all so gung ho on Ruby for some
I
fucking
mean,
reason. I
that
don't.
first pull was so good. That's got to be worth
And also,
something.
there was so much fun. And like you're just dodging the avalanches and shit, and if you get a few, you have to like just run around. But I'm seeing these from a hunter perspective too, right? Like
Perma strafe.
like that was just super fun. That was super fun for me. I think Rise is more fun than Fall. Isn't that disgusting?
wow.
But it is mainly the mini game. It is mainly the mini game.
Oh my god.
It's
All right.
just-
You had me for half a second. then you
Yeah, we're all like, huh?
again. Oh,
Wait, tune in next week for the minigame tier list.
I would probably move Throne up to C, like a high C at least, because again, it's just fun to fucking blast in there. It's the same as Everbloom. You come out of there like just pulling
Oh no,
ridiculous
P-flips.
numbers. Sorry,
Throne is
Flip.
Throne is a fun dungeon if you have 2 minutes.
I could put
and if
Throne
you're
at
running
low C
with the
for
Exactly,
tank
sure.
that
it's
Right
very
here.
fun.
double silence sigil, double chain
Mm.
sigil.
Okay,
That
quarter
improves-
stars like needs to go down, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
know.
didn't
I
like
forget, why
quarter
did we
stars
put this so
much.
high?
Because we didn't have a C tier when we put it there.
Okay,
I said
okay,
it was
okay.
like fall and should be next to fall.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Should fall be going down then?
No, Fall's all right.
Uh,
I think Fall's okay.
Okay, so
Again, I think it's just
I
like
think-
timer wise, like you feel like you can have more fun in it, and you don't have to take it as seriously because you can.
holy shit, this is like a
like,
2-hour
have a couple
episode.
deaths kind of thing.
I'm convinced they took the RP from both mega dungeons and put the timer on fall.
All right, now the last thing is the top 8 dungeons are the next season. Are we okay with that?
okay, we need to change this so we don't have.
We don't have.
Bizarre.
I
We
wouldn't,
need
I
Ruby
wouldn't
Life
want
pools in
Halls
it.
I wouldn't want
yeah,
Halls
yeah.
again.
Put Ruby back in there.
I wouldn't want.
I'm gonna
Halls
stick
again.
by Atal's. Atal's pretty boring.
I agree.
There's
So
nothing.
now
like,
Ruby's in,
Also-
Atal's out.
I kind of don't want to do
Yes.
Freehold again.
I don't think I want to do Freehold either. I think Freehold's got to
I'll
go high
say-
B, right?
Like Freehold.
I think I'd probably take Halls of Infusion even over.
No,
Freehold.
what the hell? Kick him out of
Yeah.
here. No, he's banned.
Kick that guy.
I'm calling the police.
I agree.
Oh
Do
my
I get a
God.
round of proposed fixes?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Did I skip you?
'Cause I would
definitely did.
say, I mean, I've said before, Algathar, I don't think was S tier, which
You can't
we
touch
can't
on.
just have underrotten S tier, but Algathar,
Put
like,
Ruby in there.
Hey, now we're talking.
Dude, is Ruby an S tier
Brackenhide?
dungeon?
Brackenhide should be S. Brackenhide should be S. Brackenhide was a lot of fun.
I think I
couldn't
agree.
with swapping them.
Mhm.
I think
And No
Brackenhide
Good
is
should
an
be-
S.
Gotta
No
take
good.
Elga.
No good should be like C or something. Like compare
You
No Good
him.
to Court. Like No Good wasn't that fun. You guys can pretend it was. It wasn't that fun.
Just waiting
Like,
for
I
some.
don't know what you guys are
No,
doing.
I'm on your
solid.
side. No Good was not that fun, and Brackenhide
wasn't that
belongs in
fun.
S.
I think No Good was challenging for the right reasons.
You might be right. I just remember
I
not being excited when I had to zone into that instance, and I can't remember
I think
why.
Atal was boring. I think Azure Vault was overtuned, and I didn't like that the only reason it was easy is because of the jump skip.
I think
Which, like, I guess Azure had a lot of fun trash, but I think the bosses were just overtuned.
I would
So I guess it
take
could stay an A,
Freehold out of
but
here.
I think Freehold and Natal are both pretty boring.
and then put something in front of Atoll, because the first 8 are
The
like
only
the
reason
proposed
it's
next
boring to
season.
you guys now, though, is because you
'Cause
ran it
we've
so
done
many
it a
times
bunch.
each season. Like each time it was out, like in BOD or BFA, that you were running that one continuously as well.
I've
And then,
been
like when it
playing
came back
BFA
again, you
and
ran
I
it
hate it.
continuously. Well, Zath, you don't like a lot of
What do you mean? I like Ruby.
I don't even feel
You
like
Ruby. That's the problem.
I
I
almost
did
like
not spam
Halls.
freehold. And if anything, I mean, I was mostly pugging last season, and it was really hard to get into a freehold group because everyone wanted it so bad. So I actually didn't run a lot of freehold, and I still was okay with that because I thought it was just kind of boring. And a lot of the mechanics, like we were saying, like the barrel having to have a freedom. I don't know. There's just, to me, there wasn't really anything super fun about freehold. And
Okay,
if I
what
had
would
to
we
move something up,
Mm.
I mean, I think the easiest sell is going to be Waycrest. Maybe not for next season because we just had it this one.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's kind of a hard
and
question.
I know this is going to be a hot take, but I think Oldman and
already
Halls
announced
of
next
Infusion
season.
both deserve to be higher because I think
Well,
those
you're
are
in
both
luck.
dungeons that were overtuned, and I think you guys are remembering them sucking because they were overtuned. But I think in terms of like dungeon design, they were both really good dungeons.
I kind of agree with that take.
Holy. Sim says shut it
Not
down.
gonna lie.
Cut the stream.
Shut it
No.
down.
Wipe it.
I
Wipe
don't
Holy.
think you're wrong.
Delete the VOD.
Like Halls of Infusion would be a great dungeon if the dungeon ended after the third boss. But that's such an extreme change. I don't feel like I don't know, like the gauntlet wasn't fun, the last boss sucked, but the rest of the place outside of the
Yeah, I
I thought the
agree.
gauntlet-
trash
If
at the
you-
beginning and reliance on Shadow Priest, I think the rest of the dungeon's pretty
Reliance
good.
on Priest.
If it wasn't
Reliance,
But I think
like
the rest of
both
it's so
Mass Dispel.
egregious.
Oldman and Halls were both notorious. Like you had to have a priest for Mass Dispel and Soothe, right?
And they both
that was a big
were
problem.
big dungeons that felt really long.
I don't
which
mind.
I don't think
personally.
ever feels well. I also have ADHD, so that any
I
dungeon
kinda
that feels
don't
long,
like
I'm never
long
gonna
ones.
like.
Yeah, they both were pretty long. I think I'm okay with this, except Atoll Dazar.
I
But
It's
that's
hard
just because
to
it's a
want
repeat.
a dungeon
That's like
been in the-
currently, yeah.
It's
But I can't think
boring.
of any.
think Atoll
We
should
could.
be
I strongly dislike
right there
Atoll.
with Black or
Not gonna lie.
Cold. Like they're both.
Yeah,
boring.
Yeah.
I would put it with Blackrock because I don't really care for Blackrock
Below
either.
Nelth Slayer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
That's it. Moves
Now
Nelth Slayer to A. We
Now
finally
Slayer
got it.
should be at least above Freehold. I enjoy Now
Um,
Slayer more than Freehold, or at least like, come on, yeah, no, it doesn't. No, I would say A myself. I wouldn't even say Now Slayer was S, but it was so much fun. But
Okay, I'm gonna change my take on Nell Slayer and say like it was an okay dungeon. It was fun, but it needs some tuning adjustments, and it needs like some of the mechanics that were just RNG based, like the rock throwers, both on the trash and the boss version on the worm boss.
yo, you guys forget about the
They're just,
maggots
like,
in
too
Waycrest
much.
Manor though. Like they literally turn on you. I turtle like as soon as I get the little warning thing, and they kill me through it.
What?
Yeah, I think that was just a tuning
maggots.
misstep. Because in
That's
BFA they didn't do anything.
In
and then
in Waycrest,
Sure.
yeah.
when they retuned it for this season, they made
That's
the maggots
crazy.
way too strong.
Someone always dies there. You just don't. It's roulette. It's maggot roulette anytime they get pulled.
Okay, this is severely bothering me that this is like sticking out here. We got to move something from B to C. And then I think we're wrapping up. Unless there's anything really sticking out for
I would
someone.
move Waycrest.
To C,
I would
like
move
above
Atoll.
Rise, maybe.
I think Waycrest is fun. I think it's hard, but it's fun. Atoll's just boring to me. So is Blackrock actually, but
Trying to figure out if I like.
would just-
So like, if
I would just-
say
I would-
I was like, I have a Waycrest and I have an Atoll. Which one do you want to do? I think I want to do the Atoll, but I think it's just because it's like
Well,
quick.
is it
I don't
for
think that I
score,
like it.
or is it just like just to run for fun? Because if it's just to run for fun, I would choose Waycrest. Atoll's like a snooze fest to me. But if it's like you're trying to push a key up, Atoll because it's free. I guess it just goes back to the very first question we asked, which is like,
Right, fun versus
what's the
challenging.
criteria for this tier list? Is it like
I think it's
Fun
whatever
or-
fun or like whatever we like.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because it's two things. And like hard isn't always fun, and easy isn't always fun either. I don't know. I'm kind of happy with how this ended up. Like if we had like Underout, Algathar, Brackenhide, Azurvault, Halls of Valor, Not Good Offensive, Ruby, and then not Freehold but something else, I think that'd be like kind of a cool season.
And Nell Slayer.
All right, here's the
Put
question:
Nell
What
Slayer
dungeon,
Slayer.
in front of Freehold.
what
I think
dungeon do
that'd
you
be
bring
okay.
back to fill out the 8th spot?
It would be Neltslayer would be the 8th.
No, if you had to pick a dungeon not on this list.
Oh, the wild card?
Sanguine
Halls of
Depths.
Atonement, dude. What are you
Sanguine
nuts?
Depths.
Sanguine
This
Depths
could be a
an
whole
answer.
other
Dude,
thing.
Motherload was
Yeah,
a blast.
wait. I gotta let you guys go.
I was not a fan
Oh.
of all of them.
That for like 2
I would
hours.
bring back Shrine of the Storm.
Stop it. Now you're
Holy!
just
All right, shut it
I-
down.
literally just trying to upset
Shut
people.
down.
I hated Shrine for the first half of BFA, and then after they fixed the timer, I loved it. I thought it was a great dungeon.
Hmm. Okay, maybe that could
Again,
be
I think
next.
I think it's very similar to
next
the Ruby
episode.
Life Pools, where it's like the mechanic enjoyer dungeon. Like
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff that you have to do, and if you fuck up, like your key's bricked. But if you're good at doing mechanics, it's really rewarding.
Yo, Heather
I have
brought
no
him on
idea. I've
this.
never
Don't
run
start
it,
with me.
but If it's
Nah,
like
he's
Ruby
cool. I
Life
like
Pools,
Ty.
you sold me.
All right, cool.
All right.
I think we're
we
all
good?
set. Gonna screenshot it, make the thumbnail. Thank you guys for hanging out. This was
Yo,
actually
you should
a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
screenshot.
yeah.
You should randomize it and use that as a thumbnail.
Use that as the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me
Yeah,
screen
you
snip.
can't put this as a thumbnail because then it's like
Then
Yeah,
why
you
why
need-
watch
you
the
need
video?
P Flips to send you his version of it and use that
Oh,
as a
that's
thumbnail.
a take.
There's
There
your
you go.
actual boom. No, any chance I get to make Sim tilt off the face of the earth, I'm happy to take you up on.
I think I can link this tier list thing like in the description, and people can like make their own.
There you go.
Right? I screenshotted it. I don't know if there's a way. There's not a randomize. There's only a reset. I think. I don't know. I'll have to fuck with it. But
There's a,
GG's. Thanks for
yeah. Thank you,
sharing.
Heather.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I'm gonna
Ty,
go.
Dumpy, Mac,
Yep.
Bye
Zath.
bye.
Was fun.
Just
GG's,
thanks.
everybody.
Yeah, have a good
Appreciate
night.
it. Later.
later, Nonar.
Oh, later. You're welcome to hang. Oh no, he left. Yo, everyone left.
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
You don't
I
have to
actually
leave, but
forgot to
you're
call
free
my
to go.
dad.
Yeah, no, no worries. All right, later. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite.
See ya.
Later.
All right, that was a lot of fun. I had a good time. I didn't think we'd talk for 2 hours. Send you the link. Okay, I'll send you the link for sure once I figure out how. That was cool. Was that like fun to listen to? I don't even know. I hope so.